What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty. Join my Discord if you want to chat and share your thoughts, the link is in the description. 11 TR Chapter 198, the 8th gate opens without side effects. The green light on the body turns directly into blue light, which is the blue vapor produced by the evaporation of sweat. My body ached again, but this time the pain was not as good as when I opened the 5th gate and the 6th gate just now. Fortunately, Mizuki didn't dare to open 2 doors in a row this time. Otherwise, if the 8th gate's death door had been opened at the same time, the pain would have been unbearable. Damage and repair alternate again. The strength of every cell increases rapidly during damage and repair. All the bones, muscles, and tendons all over the body are becoming tougher. 20 minutes later, the pain was all gone. Mizuki clenched his fist, feeling how powerful he was. With the increase in physical strength, his physical combat ability has also greatly increased. Now, even in his normal state, his physical strength is many times stronger than before. It's not over yet, keep going. The 8th door of death, open. Boom. In an instant, Mizuki exuded a terrifying aura. The coercion generated by the momentum spreads outward in circles, covering a range of thousands of meters. If anyone is within 1,000 meters at this time, they will definitely be blown away by the strong wind brought by this momentum and find it difficult to stand still. Even those who are weak will be overwhelmed by this momentum. Like shuei, it can melt directly. What's even more terrifying is that the space is distorted within a range of about 30 meters from Mizuki, and the distortion becomes more severe the closer you are to him. In other words, within 30 meters, space ninjutsu will lose its effect. It feels so powerful. Unlike the original 8 inner gates, there is no bloody steam around him that appears after blood evaporates. Instead, a large amount of chakra in his body overflowed, forming a blue chakra coat around him. It is somewhat similar to the golden-tailed beast coat in Naruto's perfect Jinchuriki mode, but the difference is that there are 6 black magatama on the chest of this coat. There are 3 magatama stones on the left and right sides, arranged in a V shape on the chest. Like 6 paths mode, but without the truth-seeking ball. Is this the power of 6 paths? At this moment, Mizuki felt as if he had broken some mysterious shackles and entered a new realm, as if his whole person had sublimated. Mizuki was extremely excited, and even this excitement suppressed the painful feeling in his body. Opening the 8th gate, the body suffered serious damage again. Moreover, the damage this time was more severe than the previous ones, and the severe pain made Mizuki grin and grit his teeth. It was like being cut into pieces by 1,000 cuts. Thanks to the pain he had suffered a few times, his body and will had adapted to it, otherwise it would have been really unbearable. Repair begins again. This time, the pain lasted for a full hour before it ended. Mizuki was sweating profusely, as if he had been fished out of water. He was also listless and couldn't raise his head, as if he hadn't slept in a month. My physical strength has adapted to the former 8 gate. From now on, I can open the 8 gate at will. There are still 9 gods left, but Mizuki doesn't plan to continue today. Advertisement: he is in a very bad state right now. If he opens the 9th door rashly, he is afraid that something will happen. Wait for a period of time to adapt, then open the 9th divine gate to strengthen your body. 8 gate is almost enough for now. Although that old toad on Mount Myoboku has strength beyond the 6 paths, it is too old to move and cannot show much of its strength. I opened 8 gate and gained 6 paths level strength. Even if I am not its opponent, I will no longer be as helpless as before. If you can't fight, you should be able to run. Well, I'm so tired. I'm really too tired. If I can't do that, I have to take a nap. Before he finished speaking, Mizuki fell to the ground and fell asleep. Every cell in the body is damaged and repaired countless times in a short period of time, which is a huge drain on both the body and the mind. He has lost a lot of weight. It's so tiring. Outside Phoenix Village, in the 5 great ninja villages, the morale of the people in Konoha is a bit low. The reason is Senju Hashirama. The purpose of everyone coming this time is to capture the tailed beasts, but Hashirama said that Konoha cannot capture all the tailed beasts. He believed it was best for the distribution of tailed beasts to remain as is. This is very worrying for Nara Shikaku, Jiraiya and others. This time Konoha came to seize the tailed beast. It was not just Orochimaru's intention, but the conclusion reached by all the Jonin in Konoha after a vote. Shodai, only by controlling all tailed beasts in Konoha can we form an absolute deterrent to other countries and prevent major countries from starting a war easily. That way, the ninja world can enter a period of complete peace. Otherwise, war will break out sooner or later. So, in the long run, capturing the tailed beasts and concentrating all the tailed beasts in Konoha will be beneficial to the entire ninja world. Hashirama shook his head, disagreeing. No, peace achieved through force and domination is a false superficial peace. Once all the 9 tailed beasts are concentrated in Konoha, the major ninja villages may not dare to resist on the surface, but once they have the opportunity, they will definitely unite to overthrow Konoha's rule. On that day, Konoha will be completely destroyed. In addition, tailed beasts are too dangerous. If an accident occurs and the tailed beasts riot, Konoha will be in ruins in an instant. I built Konoha, and I don't want it to be destroyed one day. Hashirama's words silenced Shikaku and others. This sounds very reasonable, especially the danger of tailed beasts, which must be considered. The Nine Tails Rebellion 13 years ago almost destroyed Konoha. If all the 9-tailed beasts are concentrated in Konoha, and one day there is a rebellion among the nine-tailed beasts, then Konoha will be completely destroyed. But the Akatsuki organization has been collecting tailed beasts. If the tailed beasts are redistributed according to the original method, they will be defeated one by one by the Akatsuki organization. When they get all the tailed beasts, they may use the power of the tailed beasts to cause trouble to the ninja world. Jiraiya is worried. He has been paying attention to the Akatsuki organization and knows that the purpose of the Akatsuki organization is the tailed beasts. Akatsuki organization? Hashirama wondered. Jiraiya explained. The Akatsuki organization is an extremely secretive organization. It is composed of S-class rebel ninjas from each village. It has strong overall strength and great ambitions. Advertisement. Their base is in the land of rain. Orochimaru once joined the Akatsuki organization and knows that the leader of the Akatsuki organization owns the Rinnegan. Uchiha Itachi, who massacred the Uchiha clan, is now working for the Akatsuki organization. Although Naruto said that Uchiha Itachi joined the Akatsuki organization as an undercover agent, the third Hokage and Danzo who knew about it were both dead, so this statement cannot be confirmed. Therefore, after Jiraiya discussed with Shikaku and others, he did not intend to confirm it for Uchiha Itachi. Even if there is evidence that Uchiha Itachi is really an undercover agent, Konoha still cannot accept such a lunatic who can ruthlessly massacre his own people and biological parents. Shikaku added. Before, the Akatsuki organization captured 2 tails, 3 tails, 4 tails, 6 tails, and 7 tails. This organization is extremely dangerous. Hashirama wondered. Since the tailed beasts were captured by the Akatsuki organization, why are these tailed beasts in Phoenix Village? Could it be that Mizuki from Phoenix Village is also a member of the Akatsuki organization? Jiraiya shook his head. No, Mizuki cannot be a member of the Akatsuki organization. Mizuki and the Akatsuki organization have collided many times. Mizuki also killed some members of the Akatsuki organization. Shikaku said. My opinion is that the Akatsuki organization does not want to be the target of public criticism, so it sends all the captured tailed beasts to Phoenix Village to make Phoenix Village the focus of the major ninja villages. As Phoenix Village collects more and more tailed beasts, all countries will join forces to attack, just like today. After all the major ninja villages in Phoenix Village have been destroyed, the Akatsuki organization will come out to take away the tailed beasts. By that time, the villages that have suffered heavy losses will no longer be able to stop the actions of the Akatsuki organization. Hashirama nodded. After thinking for a moment, he said, in this case, the 5 great ninja villages cannot break out a war here because of the tailed beasts. The tailed beasts cannot be concentrated in Konoha. The tailed beasts brought back from each village will be defeated one by one by the Akatsuki organization. In that case, it's better to let the tailed beast continue to stay in Phoenix Village. Otherwise, you will fall into the Akatsuki organization's scheme. As he spoke, he turned his head and looked to the west. I can feel that there are several strong chakra auras in that direction, all of which have reached cage level. They must be the Akatsuki organization. One of these forces is particularly powerful, and may very well be the owner of Rinnegan. Shikaku shook his head and said, no, Mizuki is dead. Phoenix Village may not be able to withstand the attack of the Akatsuki organization. Once the people from the 5 major villages retreat, the Akatsuki organization will definitely come to snatch the tailed beasts. Besides, people from other villages won't continue to let tailed beasts stay here. Hashirama smiled and said, no, although Mizuki is dead, Phoenix Village is still capable of resisting the Akatsuki organization. Uzumaki Naruto is very strong. He attacked Konoha before, and Tobirama and I spent a lot of effort to defeat him. Now that he has the Rinnegan, he is stronger and may be able to withstand the attacks of the Akatsuki organization. Jiraiya frowned and said, but he only has 1 Rinnegan. Phoenix Village, after Naruto came out of Kamui's space, he saw an unexpected person. Kakashi-sensei. Why are you here? Yes, it was Kakashi. Under Kushina's persuasion, he joined Phoenix Village. Kakashi smiled and said, I have joined Phoenix Village, but I am tired of fighting, so I will not fight for this village or perform any tasks. Kushina said with helplessness on her face, he only wants to be a teacher in the ninja school and have nothing to do with the world. Naruto said, Master Mizuki always said that where there are people, there is struggle. Master Kakashi wants to live in peace with the world, but I'm afraid it's impossible to achieve it. Kakashi smiled slightly, non-committal. Of course he knew that no matter where he went, he could never remain indifferent to the world. But he still hopes that there will be less struggle. After a while, Sasuke also came out of Kamui's space. The moment he saw Kakashi, Sasuke's eyes lit up. Chapter 199. Delicious braised pork, Mizuki who can't wake up. Naruto, Hinata, go home for dinner. Kushina prepared a sumptuous lunch. Kushina found a new meaning in life after discovering that Naruto liked to eat his own meals. Every mealtime, as long as Naruto was in the village, she would go home and cook a table of delicious food. When he was first resurrected, he always heard Naruto talking about Konoha's Ichiraku ramen. But now, Naruto doesn't talk about ramen much anymore. Compared with the food made by my mother, ramen is not that delicious. In addition, Hinata has been living in Naruto's house since she came to Phoenix Village, and she hasn't moved out yet. Although Neji had some opinions on this, he couldn't say anything. We can't let Hinata live with their father and son. Hinata has been the eldest daughter of the Hyuga family since she was a child, and her daily life has been taken care of by someone. If she lived alone, it would be a mess. So it was nice to live in Naruto's house and have Kushina taking care of him. And this was arranged by Mizuki, so Neji couldn't object. Mom, what did you cook for lunch today? Naruto slurred. Kushina smiled and said, I made braised pork today. Braised pork? Naruto looked confused and asked, what is braised pork? Why haven't I heard of it? Kushina said, this is a new dish I learned from Mizuki some time ago. Before you went to Rock Shinobi Village to take the Chunin exam, I practiced it several times at home and have successfully mastered the making method. Braised pork is a very delicious dish, you will definitely like it. At this time Hinata also said, Naruto-kun, the braised pork made by Aunt Kushina is really delicious. After saying that, she seemed to have thought of something, and her face suddenly turned red. Kushina smiled and said, Naruto, you don't know, my braised pork was successful for the first time that day, and Hinata ate it alone. Ah, Aunt, you are not allowed to say that. Hinata's face was so red that she couldn't care about anything else and covered Kushina's mouth with her hand to prevent her from speaking. I can't speak, I'm so ashamed. Naruto couldn't wait any longer and was drooling. The delicious dishes invented by Master Mizuki, coupled with my mother's cooking skills, it's hard not to think it's delicious. Mizuki made the hot pot before, and everyone fell in love with it after eating it, and even made it at home. In addition to hot pot, Mizuki also offers other delicacies intermittently. For example, pickled fish, braised chicken, lemon duck, braised pork trotters, crispy roast duck and so on. Before time travel, Mizuki had been single for many years and was a gluttonous otaku. When he was not working, he would often mess around with the stove and iron pots. Although his cooking skills are not good, the food he cooks on the countertop is just so-so. But the so-called so-so is for people who are used to eating delicious food. For the people in the village who have never tasted it, it is a peerless delicacy. Anyone who has eaten it wishes they had more belly. This also made people in Phoenix Village realize that in terms of gourmet cuisine, Mizuki must be the best. After Kushina entered the house, Naruto invited, Sasuke, Kushina, and Kakashi-sensei, you two should also come to our house to eat. Advertisement, tell you what, Sasuke, my mother's cooking is delicious. Both Shanlin and Kakashi said, okay, you're welcome then. Sasuke looked reluctant. TCH, it's just lunch, how delicious can it be? It's not like I've never eaten delicious food. The atmosphere suddenly felt awkward, but Naruto was too nervous to care what Sasuke said. He put his arm on Sasuke's shoulders and pulled him home, he said while pulling back. Don't believe it, once you eat it, you will know what is truly delicious. Sasuke shrugged, but Naruto showed no intention of stopping. Soon, there was a circle of people sitting at the dinner table. Kakashi took off his mask, and this was the first time everyone except Kushina saw Kakashi's true face. Wow, he's so handsome. Shan Ling started to act like a nymphomaniac. Sasuke was immediately upset. Although he didn't like Shanglu, when he saw that Shanglu was obsessed with people other than himself, he began to feel unbalanced. Humph, it's just like that, far behind me, he complained in his heart. Naruto said in surprise. Kakashi-sensei, this is the first time I see you. Well, you look pretty good. I still remember that in Konoha, Sasuke, Sakura, and I were trying to figure out a way to get you to take off your mask. At this point, Naruto's mood suddenly dropped a little. He thought about little Sakura. There are 4 people in class 7, and now there are only 3 left. The only one missing is little Sakura. Little Sakura can't be resurrected with the Rinne Tensai technique. This plate is braised pork, everyone should try it. Kushina walked out of the kitchen wearing an apron, holding a plate of red-colored braised pork in her hand. Wow, it looks good, and it smells so good, Naruto exclaimed. Shang phosphorus. It's so fat. Is this really delicious? If you eat one piece, you will grow a lot of meat on your belly. At this moment, Kushina saw Kakashi taking off his mask and asked in surprise. Kakashi, what are you doing? Kakashi smiled and said, since you have decided not to be a ninja anymore, there are some things you can change. Besides, I will no longer perform missions in the future, so my own information will not be so important. From now on, take off your chin and start a new life. Kushina nodded and said, that's fine, always wear a mask, no wonder it's not breathable. Okay, let's eat. Saying that, Kushina carefully took a piece for Naruto and said with a fond look on her face, have a taste, you will definitely like it. Naruto picked up the chopsticks and announced, I'm starting. Then he stretched out his chopsticks to pinch the meat, and cut the meat into 2 pieces. Wow, is it so soft? Advertisement. He finally picked it up and put it in his mouth. As soon as his tongue tasted it, Naruto's eyes widened. Oh my god, this is so delicious, well, I want more. Seeing Naruto eating so deliciously and smelling the aroma of braised pork, the others were also moved. Is it really delicious? Shanglu was still a little worried. Hinata said, it's really delicious, you'll know it after you take one bite. Shang Ling stretched out his chopsticks to pick up a piece that wasn't that fat and took a sip, then got out of hand. He even fought with Naruto. Soon, Kakashi and Sasuke also joined the fighting group and the battle was in full swing. Kushina felt proud when she saw that everyone liked the food she cooked. Soon, the bottom of the plate of braised pork was gone. Naruto didn't even spare the soup, soaked all the rice, and finished 5 large bowls. Naruto held his stomach with a look of enjoyment, but suddenly he stood up in shock and shouted, "Oh no, I've finished all the food." Kushina smiled and said, "Don't worry, I have saved some for a long time and have packed them. You can send them over," he said, and took out a bento from the kitchen. Naruto chuckled and said, "Mom is still considerate." Naruto took the lunchbox and immediately entered Kamui's space. When everyone saw this, they knew that Naruto had gone to deliver food to Mizuki. In Kamui's space, Naruto was surprised. Master actually fell asleep. He walked over and squatted down, shaking it with his hand. "Master, wake up, it's time to eat. Mom made delicious braised pork for lunch, it's so delicious." Mizuki didn't move. Naruto added, "If you don't wake up, don't blame me for stealing your braised pork." Mizuki still didn't move. "Why are you sleeping so deeply? I can't even wake you up." If he wasn't still breathing, Naruto would have thought Mizuki was dead. Seeing that he couldn't wake up, Naruto didn't insist anymore and walked out of Kamui's space with his lunchbox. Kushina asked in confusion, "Why is he not here?" Naruto shook his head and said, "No, I fell asleep and I can't wake up no matter how I shake it. It's like I haven't slept in days." Kushina took the lunchbox and said, "Then I'll deliver it later. The lunchbox will be heated in the kitchen first." Sasuke's eyes immediately moved when he heard Naruto saying that Mizuki was asleep and couldn't be woken up. He suddenly said, "Kakashi, there are some things I want to tell you about 1-on-7. It is said that he used to work in Konoha Anbu and was your subordinate." 1-against-7? Kakashi frowned and said, "I don't know much about him." Sasuke. "I just want to know what he went through in Konoha Anbu, without asking for too much." Kakashi thought for a while and said, "Okay then, I'll tell you what I know." Sasuke. "Let's find a quiet place to talk." Chapter 200. Unsuspecting Kakashi. The two left Naruto's house, followed immediately by Karen. "Kakashi, I'm talking to Kakashi, don't disturb us." Sasuke turned around and said. "Oh." Shang-Lu was a little unhappy, but did not continue to follow. Sasuke and Kakashi crossed the street and came to the park on the south side of the village. People in the 5 major villages are outside, and the villagers are hiding in their homes. There is no one on the street, and there is even no one in the park. "What do you want to know?" "Actually, I don't know much about 1-on-7, you may not understand much from me." Kakashi stood by the lake, looking at the sparkling lake, and said calmly. Sasuke stood behind Kakashi and asked, "I want to know what kind of person you know about the 1-on-7. Kakashi was silent for a moment and said, 1-on-7, he rarely talks and doesn't communicate much with others. But he is wise, rational, and good at thinking. What he thinks is beyond the vision of ordinary people. When he was 7 years old, the third Hokage once praised him for being able to think from the Hokage's perspective. Upon hearing the third Hokage, Sasuke couldn't help but snorted. "Damn old thing." Kakashi continued. "I remember one time, I went on a mission with him to protect Guy and the others. After the mission, he asked me if I would choose to sacrifice the lives of my companions for the mission." Sasuke asked, "What's your answer?" Kakashi. "My answer is that I will definitely protect my companions, even if the mission fails." Sasuke asked again. "What about his answer?" Kakashi said, "I didn't ask, and he didn't answer. You need to find the answer yourself." Sasuke's fists clenched tighter and he said angrily, "I know his choice. He chose to complete the mission and gave up on his companions. Thousands of Uchiha's companions, even his biological parents, were abandoned by him." Kakashi shook his head after hearing this. "You think Konoha is a mission and the Uchiha clan are companions. But in the 1-on-7 hearts at that time, how could Konoha not be a companion?" Sasuke was even more annoyed. What kind of companion is that rotten village? He should be destroyed, should be turned into ruins. Kakashi shook his head, he understood Sasuke's mood. He did not persuade Sasuke because he was no longer from Konoha. What Sasuke would do to Konoha had nothing to do with him. Moreover, he actually made up his mind not to be a ninja anymore, so he would no longer care about the disputes in the ninja world. "I have some understanding of the situation in the village at that time. The Uchiha clan is preparing to launch a rebellion and seize the position of Hokage. And once the Uchiha clan takes action, the village will immediately fall into the flames of war and there will be horrific internal strife. At that time, other countries will definitely take the opportunity to start a war. Regardless of whether the village wins or Uchiha wins, they may be destroyed by other countries in the end. So, 1 versus 7 is hard to choose." Sasuke roared angrily. "Ah, death, death, everyone deserves to die. Why would he choose that way? He could obviously force 3rd Hokage to abdicate, and he could obviously let 3rd generation and Danzo choose. Why are you so stupid?" Yes, Sasuke at this moment thought Itachi was stupid. Why should you make your own choices? Why should you put yourself in a dilemma? If the 3rd generation is forced and told that if it does not abdicate, it will be destroyed, then it will not be the 3rd generation that is in the dilemma. At that time, will the 3rd generation choose to give up the position of Hokage to Uchiha because of fear of internal strife and allowing other countries to take advantage of it? If the Uchiha clan had forced the 3rd generation to abdicate, if the 3rd generation was really dedicated to the village, they would definitely have chosen to abdicate, Sasuke murmured. Advertisement. Kakashi sneered and shook his head immediately. Impossible. Third generation is not 1 against 7. 1 against 7 will compromise for the sake of the village. Third generation will never do that. Otherwise, he would not have killed my father, Kato Dan, or Senju Nawaki by hook or by crook. Sasuke gritted his teeth in anger. This idiot, 1 against 7, actually thinks that the third generation is a good person, and he is willing to kill his own people to stabilize the position of the third generation. Hateful. Kakashi shook his head. No, 1 against 7 is not stupid. He knows the character of third generation and knows that it is impossible for third generation to give up. But in order to prevent the village from falling into war, he had no choice. Typical, good people get bullied, you are reasonable, but I am not, so you will never be able to defeat me. The more Kakashi talked, the angrier Sasuke became. In his eyes, 3 Magatama appeared, and 6 Magatama shook crazily. Damn third generation, sooner or later he will be resurrected and killed 10,000 times. There are still 1,007. I will kill him repeatedly. He must pay with 1 life for every clan member who dies at his hands. I want him to experience the pain and fear that every clan member feels when they die. Kakashi shook his head. He felt the crazy killing intent in Sasuke, and even this killing intent made him feel very uncomfortable. He thought that killing Danzo and defecting to Konoha was crazy, but compared to Sasuke, he was far from it. Rinnegan can resurrect the dead, but if Rinnegan alone resurrects others, he himself will die. Kakashi has the Rinnegan, so he also knows that the Rinne Tensei technique can resurrect the dead. But the price is your own life. Mizuki and Naruto can resurrect the dead infinitely, probably because they have mastered some secret technique. Or maybe their Rinnegan is more advanced. After saying this, Kakashi immediately noticed that the murderous intention behind him became lighter. He didn't pay attention, but Sasuke behind him lowered his raised hand. Sasuke, who was planning to attack from behind, suddenly gave up. Because Kakashi's words reminded him that the Rinne Tensei technique cannot resurrect the dead infinitely, and it must be paired with the secret technique Tensei U. If he kills Kakashi and takes away Rinnegan now, he will be on the hostile side of Phoenix Village. By then, it will be even more difficult to get the Heavenly Resentment U. I have to get the Heavenly Resentment U secret technique first, and then capture Kakashi's Rinnegan. Rinne Tensei technique will be of great use in the future, so he can't give up. The two chatted for a while, and Sasuke made an excuse to leave first and went to find Naruto. Mizuki is still sleeping, and if he wants to get TNU as soon as possible, he can only start with Naruto. Soon Sasuke found Naruto and directly stated his intention. Do you also want to practice Heavenly Resentment U? I do have the training scroll, but if I give it to you without Master Mizuki's consent, I'm afraid I will be scolded by Master. Sasuke smiled and said, Who said Mizuki didn't agree? He asked me to ask you for the scroll. It's just that I forgot to mention it during the meal before. If you don't believe me, ask him when he wakes up. No, he also gave me the 8 inner gates and said he would let the two of us practice together. Sasuke takes out the 8 inner gates scroll. Naruto took a look and saw that it was indeed the 8 inner gates and believed Sasuke's words. So he found the U scroll of Heavenly Resentment and handed it to Sasuke. Now, give it to you. By the way, I have mastered the Heavenly Resentment U, so let me learn the 8 inner gates first. You first learn how to resent you. After saying that, he took the 8 inner gates scroll from Sasuke's hand. Sasuke didn't want to give it, but he was afraid of Naruto being suspicious, so he could only watch Naruto take the 8 inner gates scroll. Advertisement, forget it, if 8 inner gates is gone, it will be gone. For me, Heavenly Resentment in you is the most important thing. After getting the Heavenly Resentment, Sasuke didn't dare to waste time and went to find Kakashi immediately. Mizuki is still sleeping, so he needs to take advantage of this time to get the Rinnegan. As long as Mizuki is not around, he can escape unscathed once he gets the eyes. If he waits for Mizuki to wake up, it will be difficult for him to leave. So, time is running out. When Sasuke found Kakashi again, Kakashi was still in the park, sitting by the lake and looking at the fish in the lake. Hearing the footsteps, Kakashi turned his head and glanced, then turned back. Why are you back again? Is there anything else you want to ask? Sasuke said. There is indeed another problem, and that is the strength of 1 against 7. As he spoke, Sasuke picked up a flat stone from the ground and threw it sideways towards the lake. The stone touches the water, then immediately jumps up, then falls again, then jumps up again. After hitting more than a dozen water floats in a row, the stone's forward strength has not been exhausted and it is still moving forward. Kakashi's attention was attracted by the floating water, and his eyes were fixed on the distant stone. Strength? Back in Anbu, he was already very strong as a 1-on-7 player. When he joined Anbu, he was 11 years old and already had Jonin-level strength. As for what progress he has made since leaving the village, I don't know. Before he finished speaking, Kakashi suddenly felt a sharp pain in his chest. Sasuke, you. What are you doing? Kakashi asked with disbelief on his face. His heart had been pierced by a kunai. Sasuke stood behind him, holding the kunai handle in his hand and sneered. Kakashi-sensei, you no longer intend to be a ninja. Rinnegan is a waste of time on you. How could Kakashi, who was defenseless, have thought that Sasuke would kill him? No warning, so, it's better to give it to me, only I can bring out the power of this eye, and I will never bury its ability. After saying that, he grabbed the kunai and started turning it, completely breaking Kakashi's heart. You. You are possessed. Kakashi felt that his vitality was fading rapidly and his consciousness became increasingly blurred. Hatred has made you lose yourself. Turn around and don't sink deeper and deeper. At this moment, Kakashi did not choose to attack. It's meaningless anymore. At most, a Shinra Tensei can be used to bounce Sasuke away, but it is not enough to kill him. He thought back on his life and all his experiences, and the picture finally settled on the moment when Danzo was terminated by him. At this moment, at Naruto's house, Xiangling's expression suddenly changed. Kakashi-sensei's chakra is weakening rapidly. He is going to die. Naruto was shocked. What? Whoa! Naruto disappeared into the house. Xiangling didn't say Kakashi's location, nor did he say there was Sasuke's chakra beside Kakashi. She hid it, and, when Naruto left, she left too. So, when Naruto found Kakashi in the park, Kakashi was already a corpse. I saw the body lying on its back, with bloodline covering its chest and left eye socket. Moreover, the soul has entered the Pure Land and cannot be resurrected. Sasuke, why are you doing this? Why on earth is this? Sasuke was no longer here, but no matter how stupid Naruto was, he knew it was Sasuke who did it. He couldn't accept it. Chapter 201. The murderous intention of everyone in Phoenix Village. Outside Phoenix Village, Sasuke's face was filled with excitement. Great, now I have a Rinnegan too. When this eye is transplanted, my strength will be even higher. Even if I face Senju Hashirama, I can defeat him. Wait Konoha, my revenge will be like a violent storm, completely destroying you. He bit his finger, smeared the blood on his palm, and slapped it on the ground. Ninpo. Summoning technique, with a bang sound, a giant snake appeared. This is a huge green snake with diamond-shaped patterns all over its body. Master Sasuke, what are your instructions when summoning your subordinates? Green Snake is very polite and has a good temper, unlike Wan Snake who is irritable and unreasonable. Sasuke said calmly, I want to go to Ryuchi Cave. Okay. After Green Snake finished speaking, he opened his mouth and touched his chin to the ground. Sasuke steps towards the snake's mouth. After entering the snake's mouth, and then releasing the summoning technique, he can enter the Ryuchi Cave with the Green Snake. At this moment, Sasuke suddenly frowned, turned around and said, come out. Behind a tree, Shang Phosphorus came out. What are you doing here? Sasuke was impatient. When he left Phoenix Village before, Sasuke felt that his strength was not foolproof yet, so he had a companion to be on the safe side, so he let Shang Phosphorus follow. But this time, he mastered Sage Mode and got Rinnegan. He thought he no longer needed the assistance of his companions, so he started to worry about Shang Phosphorus. Mr. Sasuke, I want to follow you. Xiangling looked like a licking dog. Seeing Sasuke's expression becoming more and more impatient, Xianglien hurriedly said, I can help you transplant the Rinnegan, my sensory ninjutsu, and I can also help you find your brother. Don't worry, I will never cause trouble. Sasuke changed his mind after hearing this. Okay, just keep following me. Sasuke originally planned to go to Ryuchi Cave and ask Orochi Sennin's men to help transplant the Rinnegan, but in comparison, the Phosphorus was definitely more reliable. Moreover, Shang Phosphorus has a very strong sense of perception. If she follows him, it will indeed be helpful in finding Weasel. Seeing that Sasuke agreed, Xiangling was so happy that she jumped over and followed Sasuke into the green snake's mouth. Sasuke stood between the green snake's teeth and looked in the direction of Phoenix Village. Naruto's Rinnegan and Kakashi's are just a pair, right? If there is a chance to get it together, forget it. Naruto has the Sky Resentment U and the Flying Thunder God, so it will be difficult to get it. With a bang, the two people and the snake disappeared at the same time. Phoenix Village, by the Park Lake, Naruto looked at Kakashi's body with grief in his eyes. More importantly, I am confused. You wanted a Rinnegan, why didn't you ask me for it? I know you want to become stronger and I know you want revenge. I am happy to help you. I am willing to give you my eyes. After all, they are not mine in the first place. But why did you kill Mr. Kakashi? You could just take away the eyes. Why did you have to kill him? Even the time for resurrection has been missed. Naruto at this time was very angry. Sasuke, you have changed, completely changed. Crazy, cruel, cold-blooded, absolutely unforgivable. Soon, the news that Kakashi was killed by Sasuke spread to everyone. Everyone was furious. Bang, the table was smashed with a slap. Tsunade was furious. Advertisement, damn Uchiha brat, damn white-eyed wolf. Mizuki asked Tsunade to be responsible for the construction of the ninja school. Now Kakashi finally came to be a teacher, but he died at the hands of Sasuke. How could Tsunade endure this? Kushina was also extremely angry, and her red hair was flying. Kakashi was once his leader in Konoha, Mr. Jonin. How could he do it? How could such a kind person like Makoto give birth to such a cold-blooded B*******************? Kushina is scared. Fortunately, Sasuke was targeting Kakashi's Rinnegan, if he was targeting Naruto's Rinnegan. It's scary to think about it. At this time Tsunade said, such a person does not deserve to live in the world. Kushina, find him quickly and kill him. Naruto was a little anxious when he heard that Sasuke was going to be killed. Sasuke is just blinded by hatred. There is no need to kill him. Find him and enlighten him, and he will definitely change. Besides, there will definitely be a chance to resurrect Mr. Kakashi in the future. As soon as he finished speaking, Kushina's fist hit Naruto's head. Naruto was knocked directly to the ground, and a lump swelled up on his head at a speed visible to the naked eye. Ah, it hurts. Mom, why did you hit me suddenly? Kushina stared at Naruto and said seriously, Naruto, you are so naive. Kakashi is not weak, but Sasuke can succeed with one blow. This is because Kakashi trusts Sasuke, so he was successfully attacked by Sasuke without any precautions. If you continue to be so naive, you will easily become the second Kakashi. Kushina didn't want Naruto to follow in Kakashi's footsteps. Naruto treats Sasuke like a real brother. Naruto spent a lot of effort to find Sasuke some time ago. Even Mizuki gave up, Naruto hasn't given up yet. Therefore, Kushina was very worried that Naruto would suffer at the hands of Sasuke. The best solution is to kill Sasuke. With Sasuke dead, she has nothing to worry about. Tsunade also said, even if one day you use the Rinne Tensei technique to resurrect Kakashi, the fact that Sasuke committed the murder still exists. Just because Kakashi was resurrected doesn't mean Sasuke didn't kill him. Sasuke must die. Naruto had nothing to say. Kushina said no more and directly opened the perception barrier to search for Sasuke's location. Naruto also stood aside obediently, injecting chakra into the barrier to expand the range of the barrier. But there was no trace of Sasuke within 100 miles. I looked for fragrant phosphorus, but couldn't find it either. There's no way they could have gone far in such a short period of time. Since they can't be found, they may have returned to Ryuchi Cave. Ryuchi Cave is one of the 3 summoning holy lands. It is located in a remote no-man's land. Naruto's chakra alone cannot expand the barrier to that far. And even if the barrier can cover that far, Ryuchi Cave is still in a secret realm and cannot be sensed from the inside. He must have been afraid of being hunted by us, so he hid in Ryuchi Cave. And he took away the Rinnegan. Only when he returns to Ryuchi Cave can he transplant his eyes with peace of mind. Damn it, once he transplants the Rinnegan and his strength increases, it will be difficult to kill him. I felt so angry that I smashed the door open again. Kushina said, don't worry, that person's strength is unfathomable, killing him is easy. Naruto, go and see if he's awake. If he's not, shout loudly to wake him up. In Kamui's space, Mizuki, who was sleeping, was finally awakened by Naruto. He hadn't slept enough, he was still listless, his eyes were blurry, and he hadn't recovered yet. Naruto, why are you in such a hurry? You have to wake me up. Naruto said anxiously. Master, Mr. Kakashi was killed by Sasuke, and Rinnegan was also taken away by Sasuke. Advertisement, what? Mizuki exclaimed. His sleepiness instantly disappeared. He sat up in shock and looked at Naruto with a shocked look on his face. Are you telling the truth? Naruto nodded, his expression full of sadness. Damn it, how dare he? Mizuki became angry. He knew Urzuzi was a white-eyed wolf, but he never imagined that Sasuke would actually attack Kakashi in the village. So heartbroken. It seems we can't stay. Mizuki is determined to get rid of Sasuke. Although after killing Sasuke, there will be 3 less system refund opportunities every month. But opportunities are always opportunities, and opportunities that cannot be realized are always insignificant. Since Sasuke dared to kill Kakashi, he had made up his mind not to return to Phoenix Village. If he doesn't come back, how can you try to get rid of him? Therefore, I don't feel bad if I kill him. Mizuki asked, has your mother found Sasuke's location? Naruto shook his head. I searched with the barrier and couldn't find where Sasuke is. He should be back at Ryuchi Cave. HMPH, Mizuki snorted coldly. Sooner or later he will come out of Ryuchi Cave. When the time comes, I will take action myself and kill him to pay for Kakashi's life. Naruto couldn't bear it and wanted to say something, but in the end he didn't. If Sasuke only defected, or even just took the Rinnegan without killing Kakashi, then Naruto would definitely do his best to plead for him. But when Sasuke killed Kakashi, the nature was different. Although Kakashi has just joined Phoenix Village, he is still considered a member of Phoenix Village. Killing people from your own village is unforgivable. Okay, let's put Sasuke's matter aside for now. You go out, I will continue to sleep for a while, call me if there is an emergency. Naruto didn't leave immediately. Mizuki asked, is there anything else? Naruto squeaked and whined. Well, Sasuke came to me before and said that you asked him to practice TNUU, so. Sasuke practices TNUU, but Mizuki doesn't worry about anything. With that said, Mizuki took the 8 inner gates scroll from Naruto's hand. Mizuki shook his head. It's not that I don't let you practice, it's mainly that this forbidden technique is too dangerous and you can't practice it. Although it is not kind of me to do this, if the white-eyed wolf is not careful, I might not be the next one to die. I'm so angry, didn't I tell you that you can't teach the secret skills I taught to others without my personal consent? You turned a deaf ear, right? Mizuki's face darkened again. What he was most worried about was that the heavenly resentment would escape from Sasuke's hands. If it fell into the hands of the old toad at Mount Myoboku, it would be really bad. What can I do if I don't forget it? It's impossible. So you gave him the scroll? Naruto was stunned and said, I want to practice 8 inner gates. Mizuki shook his head and said, forget it, what happened has happened, just take it if you want to blame you, it's too late to regret it. Kid, You've touched my bottom line. Mizuki's face darkened. Naruto took out the 8 inner gates scroll and said, he took this and lied to me that you taught him ninjutsu, so I thought it was true. Someone could die if you're not careful. Are you stupid? Just believe whatever he says. Naruto asked in confusion. Master, why did you give the 8 inner gates to Sasuke? Aren't you afraid that Sasuke will be in danger after practicing? Chapter 202. Hashirama's Method, Kuretsuchi's Proposal. It was impossible to tell the truth to Naruto. Mizuki could only explain. With Sasuke's physique, the 8 inner gates can open up to the 5th gate, so there will be no danger. But you are different. The physique of the Whirlpool clan, coupled with the heavenly resentment is enough for you to open the 8th gate. Once the 8th gate is opened, you will definitely die. Even the resentment in you will not be able to save you. The most troublesome thing about the 8th gate is that once it is opened, it cannot be closed. Life force will continue to be consumed until the end of life. No matter how much vitality Tien Yu stores, there will always be a time when it is exhausted. So once the door of death is opened, there is only one death in the end. Therefore, Mizuki will never let Naruto practice 8 inner gates. Putting the scroll away, Mizuki took out a new scroll and handed it to Naruto. 9 gates dungeon? Naruto scratched his head. There was one more gate than 8 inner gates, wouldn't it be more dangerous? Mizuki said. This is the 9-gate dungeon I improved based on the 8 inner gates. It is not only more powerful, but also greatly reduced in danger. The system doesn't care about intellectual property rights or anything like that. Take it back and practice it. With the help of Tien Yu, your physique will be strengthened to the point where you can open the 8th gate without any injuries in less than half a day. It might even be possible to open the 9th door directly. After all, the physique of the Uzumaki clan is so pervert. Naruto took the scroll and prepared to leave. At this moment, Mizuki suddenly remembered something and asked, how are the 5 major village ninjas outside? Have they launched an attack on the village? Naruto replied, the ninjas of the 5 great villages are strange. They did not attack Phoenix Village, continued to destroy the planetary devastation, and did not attack each other. It's very quiet, I don't know what I'm doing. Mizuki frowned, wondering. What are the people in the 5 villages doing? Come all the way here to do nothing but play. Ignore them for now. Immediately practice the 9-gate dunjia after you get out. As long as you can open the 8th gate without any injuries, even if the 5 major villages join forces to attack the village, you will be able to repel them by yourself. Mizuki wasn't kidding. As long as Naruto can open the 8th gate, the 5 major villages will be scum. At the same time, outside Phoenix Village, Rock Shinobi Village position. First Hokage Senju Hashirama stood outside the camp. He was wearing red Sengoku armor and his black hair was fluttering in the wind. The ninjas in Rock Shinobi Village took out their weapons one after another as if they were facing a formidable enemy, and raised their hands to form seals at any time. Very panicked, Onoki was floating in the air, looking down, with a look of surprise on his face. Kuretsuchi asked from the side, Grandpa, is he really the first Hokage Senju Hashirama? Onoki nodded and said, it's unmistakable, it's him. I met him when I was a child, and he's exactly the same as in my memory. Look at his eyes that are completely black. This is the characteristic of a person from Impure World reincarnation. The information that was sent back from Konoha said that the first Hokage was reincarnated by Orochimaru in Pure World. I firmly believe that the information is false. After all, the first Hokage is the ancestor of Konoha. As the 5th Hokage, how dare Orochimaru desecrate the soul of his ancestor? But now I see the real person. Seeing the real person standing in front of him, Onoki had to believe it even if he didn't believe it. Tisk, tisk, Orochimaru is so wicked, Kuretsuchi sighed. Onoki looked solemn. First Hokage came over, what did he want to do? Drive him and the others away, and then let Konoha have the tailed beasts all to himself? Onoki knew that the first generation was not aggressive and liked peace, and he still remembered the first generation's feats of split-tailed beasts. However, the will and actions of people in Impure World reincarnation are controlled by the caster. If Orochimaru really controls the first generation and captures all the tailed beasts, this will be difficult to do. Advertisement. What's more serious is that if Orochimaru controls the first generation and slaughters people outside of Konoha, who can stop him? At this moment, first generation raised his head and shouted, Third Tsuchikage, come down here, I have some things to discuss with you. Onoki's face looked a little better. Senju Hashirama did not take action directly, which shows that he is not here to kill people. Grandpa, what does he want to discuss? Onoki said, it's nothing more than letting us leave, and then let Konoha monopolize all the tailed beasts. Kuretsuchi. Then what should we do? Do you agree? You came all the way here, you can't quit without doing anything. Onoki sighed and said, the first Hokage is called the God of Ninja. He is so powerful that even if one person faces an entire country, he can easily destroy it. The horror of wood style is beyond your imagination. If he really asks us to retreat, we can only agree. Although Onoki is arrogant, it also depends on who the opponent is. A young man like Sasuke, Onoki, was arrogant when he saw them. But for strong men like Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara, Onoki didn't hesitate when he saw a coward. Let's go down and have a look. Onoki's figure descended and when he was close to the ground, he stopped. The body is floating, and the head is level with the first Hokage's head, neither looking inferior nor domineering. Although I am a little timid, I must not show it. After all, he is the shadow of a village, he has to have momentum, and if he is watched several times by Senju, it would be embarrassing if he does not perform well. First Hokage, I don't know what's going on, Onoki asked, neither humble nor overbearing. Looking at first generation, he had a kind face and a restrained demeanor, which also made Onoki feel relieved. It seems that Orochimaru's will has not been changed, and he is still the first generation in his memory. Hashirama said, I came to 3rd Tsuchikage to discuss the arrangement of the tailed beasts. This is just a wood-style clone of mine. The other 3 villages also have clones of me who went to discuss with them. Onoki frowned. Do you really want to drive away the 4 major villages and monopolize the tailed beasts in Konoha? Please tell me what the first Hokage has planned, right? Hashirama said. My original intention is that it is the same as before. 1 tail returns to Sand Shinobi Village, 2 tails returns to Cloud Shinobi Village, 3 tails returns to Mist Shinobi Village, 4 tails returns to Rock Shinobi Village, and 7 tails returns to Taki Shinobi Village. But after discussion in the village, they felt that the distribution could not be carried out as before. Onoki sighed, it was indeed going to change. I really can't beat you, otherwise Rock Shinobi Village will never compromise. Hashirama continued. Because there is an Akatsuki organization secretly. They are powerful. If the tailed beasts are distributed according to the original plan, the Akatsuki organization can defeat them one by one and capture the tailed beasts. Except for 1 tail, the other 5 tailed beasts were captured by the Akatsuki organization and sent to Phoenix Village. The Akatsuki organization has that strength. Onoki remained silent, he had no worries about the Akatsuki organization. Although the members of the Akatsuki organization are strong, they may not be able to take advantage of their own Rock Shinobi Village. After all, there are only that many of them. Onoki looked at Hashirama and felt that by saying so much, he was just trying to find an excuse to let Konoha monopolize the tailed beasts. He couldn't help but taunted. Haha, with all the tailed beasts concentrated in Konoha, with Lord First Hokage guarding them, the Akatsuki organization really can't take them away. Hashirama shook his head and said, I think you misunderstood. Konoha will not monopolize the tailed beasts. When the 5 major ninja villages were established, I proposed that all the major villages jointly seal the tailed beasts. My idea remains unchanged. Onoki said in surprise. Konoha doesn't monopolize it? Hashirama nodded. How should we arrange the tailed beast? Onoki was a little confused. If Konoha is not monopolized and it is not redistributed to the major ninja villages, is it possible to release the tailed beasts? Hashirama replied. The tailed beast will continue to stay in Phoenix Village. Advertisement Onoki immediately said, no, absolutely not. Mizuki is dead, and it's not safe for the tailed beast to stay in Phoenix Village. If Akatsuki organizes an attack, the people in Phoenix Village will definitely not be able to stop it. Rather than doing this, it would be better to distribute them according to the original model and seal them by each village. Although the Akatsuki organization is strong, they will never succeed so easily when facing the major ninja villages. It's better than staying in Phoenix Village. Hashirama shook his head. He pointed his hand in a certain direction to the east and said, the base of the Akatsuki organization is in the Kingdom of Rain, and their people are already here. They are right over there and will take action at any time. The tailed beast may not be able to reach your respective villages, and it will be intercepted by people from the Akatsuki organization on the way. The leader of the Akatsuki organization possesses the Rinnegan, and his power is unfathomable. Onoki suddenly frowned when he heard Rinnegan. He didn't care much about the Akatsuki organization, but he immediately felt troubled. Hashirama said, so, the best way is for the tailed beast to continue to stay in Phoenix Village. And our 5 major villages will each send some masters to help Phoenix Village protect the tailed beast. This way, everything will be foolproof. This is what this clone just thought of. He feels that this method is the best option at present. He even informed the main body and other clones of this method. But at this moment, Kuretsuchi suddenly said, well, since we are all worried about the Akatsuki organization, why did we eradicate the Akatsuki organization first? If the power of 1 village is not enough, then the 5 major villages will join forces. The Akatsuki organization will not be able to stop it. Once the Akatsuki organization is eliminated, we won't have to worry about them snatching the tailed beasts. Hashirama was stunned for a moment, then his eyes lit up. Yeah, why didn't I think of this method? Little girl, you are so smart. Kuretsuchi blushed, scratched his head and said, that, too, isn't too smart, just so-so. Hashirama said, this method is good, what do you think of 3rd Tsuchikage? Of course Onoki would not object. Why not just send some experts to destroy the Akatsuki organization? What a simple thing. I agree, Rock Shinobi Village will send experts, but I don't know what the other villages think. Hashirama said, don't worry, they will agree. Phoenix Village, after Naruto came out of the Kamui space, he started practicing the 9-gate Dunjia. So, we must proceed slowly one by one. In Kamui's space, sleeping Mizuki turned over and cursed. The 3rd door to life, open, it hurts a little, but it's not serious. I'll pass it after I endure it, and I won't feel sleepy like Master. Master Mizuki said that starting from the 4th gate, every opening of the gate will cause harm to the body, and the further behind the gate, the greater the damage to the body. I quickly read the content on the scroll and gained a detailed understanding of this technique. Green energy began to radiate from his body, and his aura became stronger. Let's start. Even opening the third gate is stress-free. The fourth injury door, open. Sure enough, there was a slight stinging pain in his body, but Ten Yu didn't need to worry at all. His Uzumaki clan's physique allowed him to recover quickly from his injuries. Naruto realized how powerful he was, feeling like he could fly into the sky and stand side by side with the sun. Soon the body adapted, and then the fifth gate, the sixth gate, the seventh gate, and the eighth gate. By the way, the whole process was not as painful as Master said. Why didn't I feel the severe pain all over my body? Open the first door, open it, I feel like I am so strong now. Coupled with some of the key points Mizuki told him, he now knows how to practice. Second door, open. Advertisement chapter 203, Fukasaku and Shima's excitement. On Konoha's side, Hashirama's body immediately smiled after receiving the message from the clone. He tells Shikaku and others the plan. Hey, what can we do? Lu Ju did not show a happy expression. That's right, the 5 major villages join forces to destroy the Akatsuki organization, and then the tailed beasts are distributed according to the original pattern. This is indeed the most peaceful method. Once the Akatsuki organization is gone, the 5 major nations can feel at ease as before, without having to worry about Jinchuriki being suddenly attacked and the tailed beast being snatched away again. But peace has never been the main theme of the ninja world. With the brains of the Nara clan, Shikaku and Shikamaru had already thought of this method. Not only the two of them, but many others have also thought of this method. It's just that no one said it. I can't say it. The purpose of their trip was to seize the tailed beasts, not to destroy the Akatsuki organization, nor to make peace with the tailed beasts. It's a pity that they didn't say it, but others did. Damn Rock Shinobi Village, damn third Tsuchikage granddaughter, you really talk a lot. And Shodai, why are you always thinking of others? The people in Konoha are very angry. If it had been delayed, the other 4 villages would have been afraid of first Hokage's strength and would have taken the initiative to retreat. Wait until the 4 villages have retreated, then remove first Hokage's summoning and let him return to the village. Then the people of Konoha can safely destroy the meteorite, seal it and take it back to Konoha. As for the Akatsuki organization, I'm not afraid at all. If the Akatsuki organization dares to come, even if the thousands of people in Konoha cannot defeat it, they can still summon Hashirama. Unfortunately, the plan could not keep up with the changes. The 4 major ninja villages haven't retreated yet, but Hashirama's wood clone has already dispatched to discuss the distribution of tailed beasts with the people of the 4 villages. This first Hokage is really difficult to lead. Shikaku didn't want to give up and said, Hashirama-sama, it's really not possible to divide the tailed beasts equally. Since Konoha was founded, it has experienced 3 ninja wars. This shows that if the tailed beasts are separated, it will be impossible to create peace in the ninja world. War will come anyway. Gather the tailed beasts in one place and use the power of the 9 tailed beasts as a deterrent to prevent the major ninja villages from rashly starting a war. This is the most correct way. Hashirama shook his head and said seriously, absolutely not. I will never agree to let all the tailed beasts be concentrated in Konoha. Advertisement Shikaku said, I know Hashirama-sama is worried that the tailed beast rebellion will reappear and cause serious damage to Konoha. But as long as Lord Hashirama is in the village, the 9 tailed beasts won't be able to cause any trouble. There are only 9 tailed beasts. The Senju Buddha summons 1 in each hand, and the remaining 993 hands can take turns to touch their heads. There is no need to worry about the tailed beast rebellion breaking out again. Hashirama said speechlessly. Hey, I've been dead a long time ago. Do you really expect me, a dead person, to protect Konoha for hundreds of thousands of years? Although my body doesn't feel tired, my heart is tired. Shikaku was immediately embarrassed and speechless. The people around him were also annoyed and their faces were a little red. Indeed, it is a bit unkind to rely on dead people to protect the village. This matter has been settled. The Akatsuki organization will be dealt with first, and then the tailed beasts will be distributed according to the original pattern. Now, no one dared to object. Jiraiya sighed and said to Shima Sennin and Fukasaku Sennin. 2 immortals, thank you for your hard work. Now that the 5 major villages have decided to unite to deal with the Akatsuki organization, you 2 can go back to Mount Myoboku to rest. The 2 toads did not respond. Huh? Jiraiya was confused and looked at the 2 toads. I saw 2 toads looking towards Phoenix Village, their eyes full of doubts and solemnity. You 2, what are you looking at? Jiraiya asked again. Fukasaku came back to his senses and glanced at Shima, who happened to also turn his head to look over. The 2 toads made eye contact and each nodded. Then Fukasaku asked Jiraiya, Little Jiraiya, haven't you felt the abnormality in Phoenix Village? Jiraiya frowned and said, What's unusual about Phoenix Village? Isn't this just an ordinary small village? What's so unusual about it? He didn't react for a while. Shima said, You just entered sage mode, didn't you feel it? Perceive what? Jiraiya was confused, but suddenly he thought of something and smiled. Oh, I understand what you were talking about. It's natural energy, I've known about it for a long time. It's strange to say that this Phoenix Village is indeed strange. The concentration of natural energy is so high. I don't know why. Fukasaku said in a deep voice, You already knew this, why didn't you tell us? Jiraiya asked. I didn't pay much attention to this, so I forgot about it, but is it important? Fukasaku said with a serious face, it's very important, very important. Advertisement. The natural energy of this village is right. The outer periphery is already comparable to Mount Myoboku, and the concentration in the center of the village must be higher. We must figure out how these natural energies are gathered. If the principle can be understood, the lifespan of the great Toad Sage can be extended. Toadmaru can use the temple to gather natural energy, but that will consume its life source. Every time natural energy is gathered, it gets a little older. He dealt with Mizuki several times, causing Gamamaru's health to get worse and worse. Now, Phoenix Village can automatically gather natural energy, which gives Fukasaku hope. As long as this method is mastered and implemented in the temple, the natural energy of Mount Myoboku will be concentrated towards the temple. In this way, Great Toad Sage can extend the life of the body with a continuous high concentration of natural energy. So, Fukasaku was excited. At this time Shima Sennin said, "Old man, actually it is no longer important to understand the method of natural energy gathering." She looked at Phoenix Village and said with a smile on her face, "With such a high natural energy concentration, the big master can come directly." The great master personally took action to capture Uzumaki Naruto, and after obtaining the secret technique, everything will be worry-free. Fukasaku's eyes lit up and he said, "Yes, catching Naruto and getting the secret technique is the best way to solve it once and for all." Jiraiya looked confused. "What are you guys saying? Why can't I understand?" The Toad clan did not tell Jiraiya about TNU. So Jiraiya is confused. At this time Fukasaku said, "Without further delay, Jiraiya, you immediately find a way to enter Phoenix Village, and then summon the big boss in the village." Shima said, "If you want to summon the great master, Jiraiya's chakra is not enough. You must first enter sage mode, and then with the assistance of the two of us, the chakra of the three of us can come together to summon the big master." Jiraiya couldn't help it and asked, "No, what do you mean? What about capturing Uzumaki Naruto? What secret technique? What are you talking about?" Fukasaku said seriously, "You don't need to know too much about this matter. Prepare to enter sage mode immediately, and then look for an opportunity to enter Phoenix Village. The two of us will go back and inform the big boss now. After you successfully enter sage mode, you can summon the two of us out. Then the three of us will join forces to summoning the big boss out. As for the rest of the matter, just leave it to the elder to handle it." After saying that, the two toads disappeared with a bang, and went back to Mount Myoboku to find Gamamaru. Monk Jiraiya was confused, but he did not dare to ignore the instructions of the two toad sages. Put your palms together again and begin to communicate with the natural energy around you. Chapter 204. Akatsuki Organization's Countermeasures. Mount Myoboku, the mountaintop temple. Fukasaku and Shima came together to meet Gamamaru. Looking at the sleeping Tamamaru, Fukasaku didn't care to disturb him and shouted, "Master, wake up quickly, wake up quickly." Toadmaru's eyelids twitched and he woke up. "Hey, why did you dream about your own place? Today's dream is so strange." Two toads. They shook their heads. Great Toad Sage was getting old and frail, and he was getting more and more confused. Especially when he attacked Mizuki several times, it took a lot of energy and Alzheimer's disease appeared from time to time. Shima said loudly, "Master, this is not a dream, you are already awake." "Oh, it turns out I'm awake." Gamamaru returned to consciousness, but he was still a little confused. It picked up the wine on the table and took a sip. After drinking the strong drink, it became sober. Looking at Fukasaku and Shima, it asked, "You two suddenly woke me up, what's the matter?" Fukasaku said, "Happy event, great joy, the secret technique of heavenly resentment U has been found." When Tamamaru heard this, his squinted eyes immediately widened, he sat up straighter and asked, "Tell me, what's going on?" Fukasaku explained. Today the 5 major ninja villages gathered in Phoenix Village in the land of birds to capture the tailed beasts. During this period, Konoha was attacked by Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke. Jiraiya was forced to enter sage mode and summoned the two of me to assist in the battle. After we passed there, we immediately discovered something unusual about Phoenix Village. After the battle ended, we repeatedly sensed it and finally determined that there was a large amount of natural energy gathered in Phoenix Village. The concentration of natural energy outside the village is comparable to Mount Myoboku. In the center of the village, the concentration is even higher. Gamamaru on the throne was overjoyed when he heard this. Its wrinkled face was full of smiles, and its mouth Kakuzu grinned to the back of its head. "Ha ha ha, great, it's really great." Fukasaku and Shima were also happy. "Yes, Big Master. The natural energy concentration in Phoenix Village is so high that the Big Master can come in person. With your strength, coming to Phoenix Village and raiding to capture Uzumaki Naruto is not an easy task. Even if Naruto reacts quickly and Kamui enters the hollow state, we can still capture Kushina and force him to hand over TNU. As long as you get TNU, you can return to your prime, and our Toad clan can also return to its peak." Tamamaru nodded repeatedly. At this moment, it was really happy. It turned out that Mizuki was dead, and he missed the opportunity again, which made him sad for a long time. And because Naruto was not weak and difficult to capture, it became frustrated and almost gave up. But now, the opportunity comes again. You two did a great job this time. Don't worry, I won't practice the heavenly resentment U secret technique alone. You are not young either and your lifespan is not long. You can practice with me when the time comes. Fukasaku and Shima were overjoyed after hearing this. They knelt on the ground and shouted repeatedly, "Thank you, sir, thank you, sir." Gamamaru ordered, "Okay, notify Jiraiya immediately and find a way to enter Phoenix Village and summon me." Fukasaku said, "Don't worry, sir, everything has been arranged. Just wait for a while, wait for little Jiraiya to enter Sage Mode and then she can summon us." Outside Phoenix Village, Hashirama is actively uniting the 4 major ninja villages, discussing the contribution of people, and preparing to attack the Akatsuki organization. Advertisement: The Akatsuki organization also noticed something was wrong. Before Pain 6 Paths chased Kakashi, Tendo Hanzo was killed by Kakashi. The poison sac in his abdomen was exposed and emitted poisonous gas, so that the poisonous gas has not dissipated even now. The other 5 members of Pain stayed around the poisonous gas and did not leave. Kakashi can't be chased, but Hanzo's body cannot be given up easily. It is not easy to find a powerful dead person to make a puppet of heaven. We must wait for the poisonous gas to dissipate, recover Hanzo's body, and then resurrect him in the Hell Realm. On the other side, Itachi, Kisame, Deidara, and Scorpion were bored and waiting quietly. Deidara couldn't stand it anymore and kept complaining. "Hey, it's so boring. What's going on over there? There's no movement at all. How can the 5 great ninja villages be so tolerant? They haven't started fighting for so long. Hey, brother Scorpion, what will happen if I sneak over and fire my C4 Garuda at them? Will all the people in the 5 major villages die under my explosive art?" Chie said calmly, "If you want to die, just go ahead and I won't stop you. Your explosive art is restrained by the lightning style attribute Chakra. If you dare to go over, Raikage will kill you with one fist." Deidara was silent. Thinking about that scene, she really wasn't sure. He could only sigh again. "Hey, it's so boring." At this moment, Zetsu appeared again. "Hee, everyone, it seems we are in big trouble." Deidara immediately got excited and asked, "What happened? Tell me. I'm bored to death and I'm looking for something to do." Zetsu said, "I just found out the news. Under the persuasion of first Hokage Senju Hashirama, the 5 major ninja villages have united and are preparing to send masters to destroy our Akatsuki organization. They already know that the Akatsuki organization's base is in Rain Shinobi Village, and they are preparing to attack Rain Shinobi Village directly." This news was too sudden for everyone in the Shao organization. Several people were silent for several seconds before reacting. "Nani?" Deidara had the biggest reaction. "The 5 major ninja villages jointly attacked us? Is there a mistake?" It's hard to understand. Others were also full of surprise. Even Uchiha Itachi felt that the development of things was unexpected. Kisame asked, "Aren't they here to capture the tailed beasts? Why did they suddenly change their target and come to target our Akatsuki organization? There are so many masters from the 5 great ninja villages, as well as the ninja god Senju Hashirama. If this comes, how can we be our opponents?" Scorpion. Is it still too late to quit the Akatsuki organization?" Everyone had mixed reactions. Of course, although he said all kinds of frustrating words, his eyes and expressions were not too panicked. There are only a few official members of the Akatsuki organization, so they really can't stop them. The worst they can do is abandon Rain Shinobi Village and run away. The masters of the 5 great shinobi villages would not massacre Rain Shinobi Village. Just wait until the people from the 5 great shinobi villages evacuate, then return to Rain Shinobi Village. Let's not talk about others, let's just talk about the 4 people present. They have been away from home all year round and have no fixed place. They have no sense of belonging to Rain Shinobi Village, and they don't care anymore. At this time Uchiha Itachi asked, "Does the leader know the news?" Ju replied, "It has been notified." At this time, Yahiko, Nagato, Konan and 3 others have received the news. The expressions of the 3 people changed slightly. Advertisement: Yes, Nagato has Rinnegan, who is very strong. But no matter how strong he is, can he be stronger than the 5 major ninja villages joining forces, or stronger than the god of ninja, Senju Hashirama? Kakashi has Rinnegan, Uzumaki Naruto has Rinnegan, but neither of them got any benefits from Senju Hashirama. Yahiko, Nagato, what should I do now? Konan asked anxiously. Not only was she anxious, Yahiko and Nagato were also anxious. Unlike others, the 3 of them were born in the country of rain and could not give up their country and village easily. Even if they knew that the 5 great ninja villages would not massacre Rain Shinobi Village, they still would not hide. No matter what, the country of rain cannot be harmed in the slightest, and the enemy must be blocked outside the national borders. Yahiko, have you thought of anything? Nagato asked. Yahiko was silent for a moment, then Kaido said, "The 5 great ninja villages are attacking together, we will never be able to stop them. The only way I can think of is to send people to attack the 5 major ninja villages. No, just attack the 3 closest villages. Konoha Village, Rock Shinobi Village, and Sand Shinobi Village. When these 3 villages are attacked, their experts will definitely return to defend. The remaining people will not pose a threat to us." Having said this, Yahiko added, "We attacked the 3 great ninja villages to protect ourselves, so there is no need to cause too many casualties to the villagers of the 3 great ninja villages. We mainly focus on deterrence and containment." Konan said happily, "This is a good method." Nagato also nodded and said, "This method is absolutely feasible, then the next step is to arrange personnel. Yahiko said. In this way, Scorpion and Deidara go to Sand Shinobi Village, 1-7 and Kisame go to Rock Shinobi Village, and Pain 6 Paths goes to Konoha Village. The three of us stayed at Rain Shinobi Village in case something unexpected happened. Nagato said. Okay, that's the arrangement. He immediately informed the others of his plan through technique, his magic lantern body. Deidara created a clay Fukuru out of clay and flew him and Scorpion towards Rock Shinobi Village. Kisame and Itachi also set off immediately, heading towards Rock Shinobi Village. As for Pain, Tiandao Pain is still spreading poison and cannot get close. Without Tendo Pain, attacking Konoha would be a joke. But that's okay. Zhu Shengdao set off first, summoning the Yata bird. He sat on the back of the bird and flew quickly towards Konoha. The Beast Path masters the summoning technique, which can not only summon various summoning beasts, but also summon other pain. As long as the animal path reaches Konoha, it is equivalent to all pain arriving in Konoha. After all three waves of people set off, Nagato Konan breathed a sigh of relief. But Yahiko didn't think that everything would be fine. He said, this alone is not safe enough, because there is not enough time. It took too long for them to set off, attack the three major ninja villages, and then spread the news here to let the people in the three major ninja villages know. Konan asked. What should we do? We must first spread the news and let the people in the three major villages know that we are about to launch an attack on their villages. Maybe they will just give up attacking Rain Shinobi Village and return to the village to provide support. Nagato asked, what if they don't believe it? Yahiko smiled. There are a lot of people from the three major villages. There will always be people who believe it. Even if they still come to attack us, they will not use their full strength. We can last longer. This will have the effect of delaying time. Nagato nodded. He turned around and said seriously, Yahiko, it's really great to have you here. If it was just Konan and I, we would never have imagined this. Thank you so much Mizuki for bringing you back to life. Chapter 205. The Great Toad Sage comes to Phoenix Village with great force. The 5 ninja villages are ready. There are more than 30 people in total, including masters such as 3rd Tsuchikage, 4th Raikage, 5th Mizukage, and Senju Hashirama. There weren't many people, but to be honest, even if there is no one else, Senju Hashirama alone is enough to defeat the Akatsuki organization. Others, I'm afraid, are just trying to make soy sauce. But if you want to divide the tailed beasts, people have to contribute, and you can't let Konoha take all the credit. Hashirama has the sensory ninjutsu, and under his leadership, a group of people moved quickly towards the east. But suddenly, Hashirama stopped. First Hokage-sama, what happened? Onoki asked. Hashirama said. The opponent's 4 masters spread out in twos and moved quickly in the north and south directions. Both directions, north and south, Onoki and others from Rock Shinobi Village, as well as Baki and others from Sand Shinobi Village, all frowned slightly. Onoki asked. Can you sense their specific direction and goal? Hashirama. From the direction they're heading, it should be Rock Shinobi Village and Sand Shinobi Village. Onoki's expression changed slightly. There are all S-class rebel ninjas in the Akatsuki organization. What is an S-class rebel ninja? To put it simply, it means having cage-level strength. This time when they came to the land of birds to capture the tailed beasts, the cages of each village were mobilized. Although there were defensive measures in the village, if they were attacked by 2 S-class rebel ninjas, they would probably suffer huge losses. People in the Akatsuki organization, such as Uchiha Itachi, are strong men who can destroy the Uchiha clan. There is also Deidara, a former member of the Rock Shinobi Village Explosion Force, whose explosion style is extremely destructive. How can Onoki remain calm when such people attack the village? Although it is absolutely impossible to destroy a village, it is inevitable to cause damage to the village. On Sand Shinobi's side, Baki and Yura were not too worried about anything. They were the only people who came to Sand Shinobi Village this time. None of the real masters from the older generation came, such as Chio, such as Ebizo, and some powerful elders. It's definitely not easy for 2 S-class rebel ninjas to break through Sand Shinobi Village. After all, no matter how strong a ninja is, there is a limit, and the consumption of physical strength and chakra is inevitable. Unless it's like Senju Hashirama, the chakra can't be used up for 3 days and 3 nights per vert. At this time Hashirama said, Don't panic. The Akatsuki organization must have done this because they knew we were going to attack Rain Shinobi Village, so they deliberately sent people to attack our rear to make us fearful and even give up attacking Rain Shinobi Village. We must not fall for our tricks. As long as we reach Rain Shinobi Village first and launch an attack on the Akatsuki organization, they will definitely return to defend. Shikaku shook his head. No, the members of the Akatsuki organization are all S-class rebel ninjas from various countries. They have no sense of belonging to Rain Shinobi Village. Even if Rain Shinobi Village is breached, people like Uchiha Itachi will never be able to return to defense. Instead, they will launch even more crazy revenge when they attack Rock Shinobi Village, Sand Shinobi Village. Shikaku has always disagreed with Hashirama's plan, so now that he had the opportunity to hold back, he immediately stood up and started to scaremongering. After hearing Shikaku's words, Onoki became more and more anxious, and Baki and Yura from Sand Shinobi Village also started to panic a little. After all, the village is full of his companions and relatives, so how can he not be worried at all? No, I have to return to Rock Shinobi Village immediately to take charge of the overall situation. Onoki made a quick decision. Compared with the village, destroying the Akatsuki organization, distributing tailed beasts, etc. are all trivial matters. The village is the foundation. Baki and Yura also looked at each other and said, "First Hokage-sama, I'm sorry, we have to go back to the village to provide support." Hashirama was silent for a moment, and finally nodded, saying, "Okay, your respective villages are important, you can go back. We, Konoha Village, Cloud Shinobi Village, and Mist Ninja Village, will join forces to attack Rain Shinobi Village, destroy the Akatsuki organization, and kill the leader of the Akatsuki organization. That's enough." Fourth Hokage immediately said, "Yes, there are enough people from our 3 villages." Advertisement, and if you 2 villages don't contribute, then the distribution of the tailed beasts afterwards will not be your share. Terumi Mei also smiled and said, "Yes, whoever contributes will get the tailed beast." Anger flashed in Onoki's eyes immediately. No, the distribution method of tailed beasts cannot be changed arbitrarily. It should be distributed according to the original model. Hokage said, "You don't contribute, but you still want to get benefits. How can this be true in the ninja world?" Onoki said angrily, "We are forced to have no choice." Terumi Mei. Also, you said you were going back to the village to support us, but what if you took advantage of the absence of the masters from our 3 villages and took away the tailed beast seal? Onoki. I didn't think that way, Terumi Mei, who knows? Suddenly, there was a quarrel at the scene, and Hashirama was the head of the 2. How could a good alliance program suddenly become like this? At this moment, on the ground in front of him, Ju, wearing a black and red cloud trench coat, with his head sandwiched between pitcher plants, and his face was black and white, suddenly emerged from the ground. He, it seems that you already know it, Jeech has begun to fight among himself. Looks like I have to save a lot of time. Ju's appearance immediately attracted everyone's attention. Everyone, please pay attention, he is from the Akatsuki organization. Onoki glanced at White Zetsu's clothes and reminded. Ju smiled and said, Haha, don't be so nervous. Let me introduce myself first. I am a Zetsu of the Akatsuki organization. I am not good at fighting. I am the weakest in the Akatsuki organization. Therefore, I am responsible for intelligence gathering. My codename is Hai. I'm here to declare war on the 3 villages of Rock Shinobi Village, Sand Shinobi Village, and Konoha Village on behalf of the Akatsuki organization. Shikaku immediately exclaimed. What, Konoha has also been declared at war? Zetsu. Yes, those sent to Rock Shinobi Village are Uchiha Itachi, the former Konoha genius, and Hoshigaki Kisame, a member of Somiri Shinobi Village who is known as the Tailless Beast. The ones sent to Sand Shinobi Village are Akasaka Scorpion, the puppet genius of Sand Shinobi Village, and Deidara, the demolition genius of Rock Shinobi Village. As for Konoha Village, the leader of the Akatsuki organization, Pain, took action himself. Our leader has a Rinnegan. The current 5th Hokage Orochimaru was once unable to hold out even one move under the leader. If first Hokage-sama doesn't return to defense, Konoha will be destroyed. Extremely exaggerated words, trying to create a sense of crisis. That's all, goodbye. After saying that, his body immediately sank into the ground and disappeared. Even Hashirama's perception couldn't clearly detect the other party. Shikaku seized the opportunity and put on a flustered look. He expressed praise, turned to look at Hashirama, and said anxiously, Master Hashirama, we must return to defense. Hashirama frowned deeply. Although his plan was good, the Shao organization found out the information in advance and came up with this method to encircle Wei and save Zhao. Why? Hashirama sighed. After listening to Zetsu's words, the entire Akatsuki organization was dispatched. In this case, even if our own side breaks through Rain Shinobi Village, what will happen? If you can't kill the official members of the Akatsuki organization, you can't completely destroy the Akatsuki organization. In addition, people in the 5 major villages now have their own ideas and are even becoming popular. It is no longer possible to attack the Akatsuki organization with peace of mind. Shikaku continued. This time, the main reason is that the news leaked, allowing the Akatsuki organization to prepare in advance. It's better to find another opportunity next time, find the best time, and destroy the Akatsuki organization in one fell swoop. Advertisement. No one said anything, but the meaning was already obvious. Today's plan did fail, Junomu said. Now that I have decided, I will take people back to Rock Shinobi Village first. I hope it's not too late. Onoki left with several masters, but the 5,000 ninja army did not take them away. They stayed here to prevent other villages from secretly destroying the meteorites and bringing the tailed beasts back to their villages. When the 5 countries join forces, it ends just as it begins. Phoenix Village is very quiet. Naruto walked on the empty street and unknowingly came to the park and stood by the lake. Lakeshore Kakashi's bloodline has been washed away, but the ground is still wet, obviously different from other places around it. Looking at the lake, Naruto's heart was filled with sadness. Sad for Kakashi's death, sad for Sasuke's ruthlessness. 9-gate Dunjia, he is enough to open the first 8 gate without any side effects. He originally planned to open the 9th divine gate in one go, but just when he was about to continue, he suddenly felt a little tired mentally. He felt a little sleepy, although it was not obvious, but he knew that if he opened the 9th gate now, he would most likely fall into a deep sleep like Mizuki. Besides, after the 9th divine gate is opened, it only has the power of one blow, so its effect is not particularly great. After all, Even if Senju Hashirama comes, there is no need to open the 9th door. The people of the 5 great ninja village are still outside the village, and now is not the time to sleep. Without Mizuki, he must hold up the scene and prevent any unexpected incidents from happening. Therefore, he planned to rest for a few days and regain his energy before opening the 9th gate. Why? Teacher Kakashi, I will find a way to open the passage between the earthly world and the pure land and resurrect you. You are so young and should not die so early. After sighing with emotion, Naruto turned and left. He hadn't taken 2 steps when a frog suddenly emerged from the lake behind him. The appearance of the frog did not attract Naruto's attention. But the next moment, the frog opened its mouth wide, and then a big hand came out of the frog's mouth and pressed it on the water. It's hard to believe how such a small frog could hide such a big hand inside. As the hand reached out, soon the whole person emerged from it. It was Jiraiya. And it's Jiraiya in Sage mode. Naruto immediately noticed Jiraiya's appearance, turned his head and looked directly into each other's eyes. Why are you here? Naruto asked in surprise. Is Konoha planning to attack Phoenix Village? Naruto immediately became alert, ready to take action at any time. Jiraiya didn't say a word and just made a seal. The next moment, there was a bang, and Fukasaku and Shima were summoned over, sitting on Jiraiya's shoulders. Uzumaki Naruto is here, great opportunity. Little Jiraiya, we will inject chakra into your body, and you will summon the big man here immediately. Jiraiya nodded. Cast the summoning technique again. With a bang sound, an old giant toad wearing a doctor's hat dissipated as the white smoke dissipated, revealing its extremely oppressive figure. It's Toad Pill, ha ha ha, Uzumaki Naruto, we meet again. Be smart and give me the heavenly resentment you secret technique. Otherwise, Phoenix Village will be destroyed today. Chapter 206. Naruto's Mouth Dungeon, 9-Gate Dungeon's debut. Not good, Naruto's expression changed drastically. His first reaction was for the Flying Thunder God to leave. But when I thought about it, I was wrong. This was Fenghuang Village, my own village. There is also his mother in the village, as well as his mother-in-law Tsunade, as well as Hinata, Neji, Gaara and other companions. If they run away, what will they do? Advertisement. Can't run. Naruto forced himself to calm down. 9-Gate Dunjia, I have completed the first 8 gate. After the 8 gate is opened, I will have the physical power of 6 paths level. The strength of this old toad is said to have surpassed the 6 paths level, but it is too old and cannot display its full strength. I may not be able to defeat it. Thinking of this, Naruto felt confident. Of course, he didn't take action immediately, he always speaks with his mouth. After looking at Jiraiya, Naruto had some thoughts in mind and turned to Gamamaru and said, Great Toad Sage, I respect you. Originally, you brought me to Mount Myoboku and lied to me that my master, Mizuki, was a larva of the sacred tree, and that one day he would bring disaster to the ninja world. So you pretended to be thinking about the ninja world and wanted to capture and kill the master. You said you were going to eliminate the troubles for the ninja world, but your actual purpose was to plant the sacred tree and eventually obtain and eat the fruit of the sacred tree. Make yourself stronger. Having said this, Naruto glanced at Jiraiya again. Sure enough, he clearly saw Jiraiya's expression change slightly. Gamamaru didn't know Naruto's intention when he said this, but he didn't care. So what if there was a gap between Jiraiya and Mount Myoboku? Sage of 6 Paths himself didn't even take it seriously, he could use it however he wanted, let alone just Jiraiya. Of course, if you don't care, you don't care. You can deny some things, but of course it's better not to admit them. After all, it's not good for this kind of thing to spread, and Mount Myoboku is not the only one in the ninja world. There are also 2 major summoning holy lands, as well as the dead Otsutsuki Hagoromo, and the Otsutsuki clan who are secretly hiding and watching. You're talking nonsense. I have never had such thoughts. Everything I did was to protect the ninja world. How could I harm the ninja world instead? Faced with Gamamaru's denial, Naruto didn't argue. He continued. Later, it turned out that Master Mizuki was not a larva of the sacred tree at all, let alone a disaster to the ninja world. The reason why Master Mizuki can absorb the vitality of animals and plants is the secret technique of Tenuu. But you didn't let go and continued to target Master Mizuki to put him to death. Gamamaru said calmly. Yes, I made a mistake indeed. Mizuki is not the larva of the sacred tree. But so what? He uses heavenly resentment U to arbitrarily absorb the vitality of other creatures. How is this predatory behavior different from the sacred tree? If I kill him, I will still eliminate harm for the ninja world. Not only him, but anyone else who practices Tenuu must die, and so will you. That sacred tree thousands of years ago destroyed the ninja world horribly. I will never watch the ninja world suffer the same destruction again. Mizuki is dead. Now you are the only one left to practice the heavenly resentment U secret technique. As long as you are eliminated, there will be no hidden dangers in the ninja world in the future. Gamamaru's words were awe-inspiring and he immediately turned the situation around. Jiraiya nodded repeatedly after hearing this, thinking that he was careless and was almost affected by Naruto's words. Naruto sneered. In that case, why did you use illusion to get the heavenly resentment U from me? And why did you use the same trick several times to bring Master Mizuki to Mount Myoboku and force him to hand over Tenuu? Advertisement. You are old and your life is short, but you don't want to die. So you attracted the attention of TNUU and wanted to practice this secret technique to absorb life force and extend your life. Toadmaru said angrily. Shut up, I am a toad, how can I practice human secrets? Naruto sneered. But you just said clearly that you wanted me to hand over TNUU. He also said that if I didn't hand it over, I would destroy Phoenix Village and kill everyone in the village. Jiraiya also frowned. When Gamamaru said this just now, he already had doubts in his heart. Now listening to Naruto's explanation, he seemed to realize something. But the positive image of the Toad clan of Mount Myoboku has always been ingrained in his mind, and for a while, he could not accept this fact. He always felt that the truth of the matter was not like this. Toadmaru's heart skipped a beat. I was careless, I was summoned just now, and the moment I saw Naruto, my heart was so excited that I accidentally let it slip without checking. But this matter still cannot be admitted. Yes, I asked you to hand over TNUU, but again, I am a toad and cannot practice human secrets. The reason why I need TNUU is not for myself, but because I want to create a targeted secret technique based on the principles of the technique that can detect people who practice this technique. If someone besides Mizuki and you practices this secret technique, I can detect it in time. For this reason, I will not hesitate to bear infamy. Even if I destroy a village, I must ensure the safety of the ninja world. Jiraiya's eyes lit up. I see, I just said that the Toad clan is just, and I was not disappointed. Naruto's eyes widened and his mouth opened slightly. He was speechless. Good guy, really good guy. I will give this defense full marks, it is really impeccable. But at this point, all that needs to be said has been said, and there is no need to continue. You want to blame you, it's impossible. If you want to destroy Phoenix Village, you have to step over my body. Gamamaru smiled and said, you said so much, don't you just want to delay time and wait for the support of other people in the village? Unfortunately, my strength is not something you can estimate. No matter how many people there are, they're just decorations. Swish, swish, swish. The figures flashed, and in an instant, several more figures appeared behind Naruto. Kushina, Tsunade, Nawaki, Shizune, Zabuza, Haku, Gaara, Hyuga Hizashi, Hyuga Neji, Hyuga Hinata, Nobita, Shin, Sai. Everyone. Naruto glanced over his shoulder, a smile on his face. He liked the feeling of having someone behind him, instead of always being alone as before. Naruto, what's going on? Who is this old toad? Kushina asked. Naruto said, this is the great toad sage of Mount Myoboku, here to snatch the secret technique of heavenly resentment you. Tsunade looked at Jiraiya and said in a deep voice, Jiraiya, is it really this far? Jiraiya laughed dryly and said, we are here today just for Naruto. The secret technique he cultivates, 10 resentment U, is extremely harmful to the ninja world. As long as he is willing to return to Mount Myoboku with us, I will ask the great Toad Sage to seal his memory of Tenin U, then let him go free without harming him in the slightest. Kushina shouted loudly. Absolutely impossible. My son will never be handed over to you. Mr. Jiraiya, you are Minato's teacher. I respect you, but if you want to capture Naruto, kill me first. Jiraiya sighed. Advertisement his mind unconsciously recalled the time he spent with Minato and his wife. But now, the two sides are on opposite sides. Kushina stepped forward, Hinata followed closely, and the others were not to be outdone. No one is a coward. Naruto was greatly moved, but still raised his hand to stop everyone. Don't worry, everyone. If they can't do anything to me, just come down and leave it to me. Naruto stood at the front, his back suddenly became majestic, as if it was glowing. Kushina looked at Naruto's back, as if she saw the familiar figure in her memory. He once faced the powerful Nine Tails like this alone. And now, Naruto has grown up and has the ability to stand alone. Open the first door, open it, second door, open. The third door to life, open, Naruto's body began to glow with green light. Oh, 8 inner gates technique. Gamamaru smiled. How old are you, and how many doors can 8 inner gates open? It's already the limit to reach the 6th gate. Unfortunately, the 6th gate is of no use to me. Unless you drive to the 8th gate, it's just a futile effort. Naruto's side was still going on. The 4th injury gate, the 5th door, the 6th scene gate, the 7th alarm gate, open. After driving to the 7th gate in one breath, Gamamaru was shocked. The blue vapor formed by the evaporation of sweat is indeed the 7th gate. But how is this possible? How can he, a young man at his age, drive to the 7th gate? How can his underdeveloped body, with his weak muscles and bones, withstand such a powerful impact? But the next moment, Gamamaru thought of something. TNUU, it must be TNUU. Its eyes widened, as if it had seen a new continent. The 8 inner gates cause damage to the body, but with the help of TNU, the damage can be completely repaired and the body's strength can be improved. What a secret technique, what a secret technique. If I get the Heavenly Resentment U and the Toad Clan's sealed many super powerful forbidden techniques, I will definitely be able to practice. Toadmaru was extremely excited. Looking at Naruto, who was emitting a blue light that was several feet high and had a powerful aura, Gamamaru seemed to be looking at a treasure. It's a pity that the 8th inner gates, the 8th gate, will die after opening it. Moreover, the 8th gate is too taxing on the body. Even if you force it to open, you only have a few chances to take action, and then you will die. Even if you die, I will capture your soul and search for memories. At this time, Naruto was in the 7th gate state and was extremely powerful. Circles of wind pressure radiated around him, so much so that Tsunade, Kushina and others behind him couldn't help but retreat due to the wind pressure. Naruto, he is so strong, Hinata exclaimed. Everyone else looked at Naruto's back in shock. Tsunade said loudly, Naruto, this is the end, you must not open the 8th gate of death, otherwise even the heavenly resentment you will not be able to save you. Naruto waved his hand and said, Grandma Tsunade, it's okay, it's just the 8th gate, you can't die. As soon as he finished speaking, the several feet of blue light emitting from his body suddenly converged, like a blue coat draped around him. On the chest, 6 Magatama stones are arranged in a V shape, 3 on each side. On the back, 9 Magatama are arranged in 3s and 3s. The 8th door of chapter 207, Gamamaru v Uzumaki Naruto. The door of death at the heart is open. The potential explodes. Chakra is like a wild horse, no longer fettered by the body. But the rage inside his body did not show outside. Everyone only felt that Naruto's aura suddenly subsided, and the wind pressure spreading to the surroundings also disappeared instantly. It was as if it was a storm one moment, but suddenly it was calm at this moment. Advertisement, but from the twisted space around him, you can tell that he is extraordinary. Gamamaru stared at Naruto, his eyes full of shock and confusion. It really opens the door to death, but why? His death gate is different from what I have seen. It's not Sister Lee. After the door of death is opened, shouldn't the blood evaporate into bloody vapor, and the whole person turns into a red beast? With the blue chakra coat and Magatama on the chest and back, this is clearly 6 paths mode. Although it wouldn't be a complete 6 paths mode without the truth-seeking ball. But it can be regarded as a 6 paths level in physical skills. 8 inner gates, isn't it forbidden technique? Why is there no damage to his body and no blood consumption? What kind of forbidden technique is this without any side effects? Toad Wan has begun to suspect Lisham. Naruto-kun, you look so awesome. Hinata looked at Naruto's back with little stars twinkling in her eyes. This chakra jacket is so cool. Everyone else was also surprised at Naruto's change. Tsunade asked, Naruto, are these the 8 inner gates? Naruto replied, this is not a rubbish technique like 8 inner gates. This is 9 gates dungeon which is stronger than 8 inner gates and has no side effects. Tsunade knew as soon as he heard it that it must have been written by Mizuki again. Everyone in Phoenix Village knows that what Mizuki is best at is adapting ninjutsu, and the more he changes, the more pervert he becomes. Everybody stand back, I'm on. I will never let them destroy Phoenix Village and hurt everyone. As soon as he finished speaking, Naruto left an afterimage on the spot, but his body had already reached the lake and stood dozens of meters in front of Gamamaru. Facing the giant old toad that was as big as a hill, Naruto showed no signs of timidity. Hey, you old man, don't you want to blame you? Beat me and I'll give it to you? At this time, Naruto felt his own strength, and his self-confidence immediately rose. This is not inflation, but real confidence. He could sense the abyss-like power in Gamamaru's body. If it had been before, he would not have had any thoughts of confrontation before this power. But now, in the 8-gate 6-path state, he could clearly feel that the gap between himself and Gamamaru was extremely close. In addition, Gamamaru is old, weak and in poor condition. Enough to fight. Without waiting for Gamamaru to answer, Naruto raised his hand and punched Gamamaru through the air. There is no move name, just a simple punch. A punch that was tens of meters apart seemed like a joke, but as the punch came out, a blue fist shadow that looked like substance pushed towards Tamamaru. This fist shadow seems to be very slow, but in fact it is as fast as the ultimate. It seems to be just the size of an ordinary fist, but to Gamamaru, it is completely different. This is not a fist, it is clearly compressed to the ultimate level of energy. The terrifying energy contained in it is countless times more terrifying than the tailed beast bomb. Space is distorting something. Unfortunately, in my opinion, it's still just a small trick. Toad Wan let out a breath of immortal energy, then opened his mouth and sang softly. Advertisement, quack. Accompanied by a low frog's cry, the sound waves spread out and collided with the fist shadow. The two annihilated each other silently. Todamaru concentrated. What a powerful attack. The sonic attack he used to use his immortal energy could only barely offset it. The point is, this is just a casual blow from Naruto. Looks like I need to use my real skills. Naruto saw that his punch was easily blocked by Gamamaru and didn't care. Since one punch is not enough, then 10 punches, 100 punches, 300 punches. Naruto jumped into the air, faced Gamamaru, and activated Berserk mode. Face the blast and drink. His fists struck out at high speed, making hundreds of punch shadows in 1 second, and they were pushed forward in a dense mass, as fast as rain falling on plantains. Tamamaru slapped his belly with both hands, squirted out a mouthful of water, and formed a mirror in front of him. Sage Art. Silver mirror reflection. The fists hit the mirror and were sucked in by the mirror. The mirror fluctuated for a while, and the next moment, the same blue fist came out of the mirror and hit Naruto. The power is not reduced at all. The attack was bounced back, and the target became himself. Naruto didn't dare to be careless. I know the strength of my own attacks, but they are not easy to catch. Seeing the fist approaching, Naruto tried to enter the hollow. However, he found that the space under the fist was extremely unstable and it was impossible to enter the hollow state. There is no way Flying Thunder God can move away. It seems that we can only resist head-on, Shinra Tenjung. The repulsive force exploded, and he was immediately surrounded by a repulsive force field that could bounce away tangible and invisible objects. But the next moment he discovered that Shinra Tianjung's defense could not block these fists at all. The level of power is not the same magnitude at all. The attack power of the fist has exceeded the limit that Shinra Tianjung can bear. Shinra Tenjung, even the tailed beast turned Naruto couldn't be stopped, let alone the 6 paths level attack. Only then did Naruto realize that the attack he had launched was so difficult. At the same time, he was also shocked by Gamamaru's strength, which easily diffused his own attack. It's impossible to resist forcefully. Tianyan Yu may not be able to withstand such an intense attack. Then, Super. Shinra Tenjung. Large Area Offensive Ninjutsu Super. Shinra Tenjung was used by Naruto. The range is greatly reduced, only concentrated in the direction in front of you, and it changes from offensive to defensive. Puff puff. Under the strong repulsion, the fists dispersed one after another, and the offensive was finally broken down. After a brief confrontation, back and forth, Naruto realized his own shortcomings. With 8 gate open, he has no shortage of attack methods, but lacks powerful and effective defense methods. This old toad is really powerful. Naruto looked at Gamamaru and wondered if it was an illusion. He felt that Gamamaru's face seemed a little older. Combined with some things Mizuki told him, the celebrity was thoughtful. The attack just now was only tentative, but it was enough to give him a clearer understanding of the strength of both the enemy and ourselves. What is the truth? You will know if you continue to test and test. Naruto clapped his hands and shouted, multiple, shadow clone technique. Advertisement in an instant, hundreds of shadow clones appeared. Let's all come together and fight it hand to hand. Hundreds of Narutos joined together and rushed towards Gamamaru. Shadow clone. Gamamaru looked dismissively. With a wave of its claws, a dozen Naruto shadow clones were immediately scattered, and with another wave, another one was knocked off. Even if it is hit by the wind of the palm, the shadow clone will be severely damaged and dissipated in an instant. Mount Myoboku. The Toad clan originally mastered a physical technique called Frog Kumite, which can use natural energy to expand the attack range. Even if there is no direct attack, the natural energy attack it brings cannot be underestimated. There was a scene of swatting flies on the field. Gamamaru's claws are like fly swatters, and Naruto's shadow clone is just like flies. No matter which direction the shadow clone approaches, it cannot escape Gamamaru's ruthless blow. Shadow clone has been killed, but the number is not small. Because Naruto has been making shadow clone, after beating again and again, Toadmaru got tired. Its body is getting older and older. Every time it takes action, its life will be reduced, which is a huge burden for it. Just because Heavenly Resentment U is about to be obtained, it doesn't care about consumption. And Naruto seemed to know this, so he used Shadow Clone to compete with Tamamaru. Naruto consumes chakra, but Gamamaru consumes lifespan. If it continues, Naruto will obviously have the upper hand. Gamamaru didn't plan to waste any more, and was ready to take down Naruto completely. I'll give you a few tricks to make you realize the gap between us. Since you don't know what's good and what's good, let's just end it. The next moment, a wave of perception erupted from Gamamaru, and then Gamamaru looked directly at Naruto, a man in the crowd. Do you really think I can't tell who you are? What it looked at was Naruto's true form. The next moment, it slapped its belly with both claws, and a mouthful of immortal energy filled its mouth. At this moment, its face looked much older. Immediately, his mouth opened slightly, and then something came out of his mouth, and at lightning speed, it was in front of Naruto in an instant. Before Naruto could react, he felt something stick to him. Tongue. Yes, it's the tongue. Frogs use their tongues to hunt, so their tongues are very long. And it's extremely toxic. When hunting, the tongue pops out, sticks to the prey, and is pulled back into the mouth to swallow. Although it only has the power of one blow, we have no choice but to fight. Once the whole body is numb, it will be over. No ninjutsu can be used. In addition, Naruto felt that his chakra seemed to be becoming difficult to control. The slime is poisonous. In this case, we can only open the 9th door. Sharp kunai cannot cause any harm to it, and this paralysis is getting stronger and stronger. Naruto punched his tongue, but the shadow of his fist hit the mucus on the surface of his tongue and was immediately absorbed. He took out another kunai and slashed at the tongue, but the tongue looked soft but was extremely tough. The top of Tamamaru's tongue stuck to Naruto's legs, which was a bit disgusting. At the same time, a large amount of mucus overflowed from Tamamaru's tongue. The mucus came into contact with the skin of his legs, immediately making his legs feel numb. I didn't expect this old toad to be so powerful. I couldn't even defeat him by opening the 8th gate. As we watched, more mucus was secreted on the tongue, and it tended to spread throughout the body. Chapter 208. The 9th gate, the power enough to tear apart the soul. The 9th divine gate, open. With Naruto's soft drink, the last door was opened. This gate is completely different from the previous 8th gate. This is a divine door that does not exist in the physical body but resides in the soul. The divine door opened, and Naruto felt that his senses were instantly magnified infinitely, and everything around him became clear. He seemed to have become a master, sitting down and watching everything in the world change. Whether it is tangible or intangible things, they are all clearly visible in his eyes. He can see the collision between molecules, the creation and annihilation of matter, and the fast and slow flow of time. Naruto had used Liushin toilet water and experienced the feeling of spiritual amplification and spiritual consciousness. The feeling at this time is 100 times clearer than the effect of using Liushin toilet water. In addition, he also has a wonderful sense of control, and everything around him seems to be controllable. The range is not large, only 10 meters, but within this scope, I am God. As Naruto thought, the tip of Gamamaru's tongue began to break into the most basic microscopic particles. The mucus covering his body also vaporized directly and could no longer cause any harm to Naruto. Gamamaru's expression changed drastically, and he screamed. Ah! It quickly retracted its tongue. In less than half a second, its tongue had shrunk in size and turned into a bloody mess. The surface seemed to have been corroded away. With his tongue back in his mouth, Gamamaru looked at Naruto and became horrified. How could you take this step? Even I haven't obtained this kind of power, why can you have it? Todemaru was completely frightened. At this time, Naruto's appearance changed again. The blue chakra coat has turned into a silver coat and silver-white cloak, making him look sacred and inviolable. He was glowing, and the light seemed soft, but no one could see his face clearly through the light. On his head was a silver crown. The crown is set with 9 gems. The 7 gemstones represent the 7 chakra attributes of fire, earth, wind, thunder, water, yin and yang. The 8th gem represents space. As for the 9th gemstone, it represents time. These 9 gems emit different lights, and the lights echo each other, reflecting a complete small world full of life. It indicates that those who master these 8 powers can create the world. Everyone was shocked. This is my son. Kushina couldn't believe it. Is the son I gave birth to so outstanding? He is only 13 years old? Minato is already very good, but when Minato was 13 years old, he had not yet learned Flying Thunder God. That's awesome, Naruto-kun. Hinata's eyes were filled with stars. She admired him to death. In the ninja school, even the clone technique could not use the crane tail well, but now it has become so powerful. Hinata felt that she had seen the right person. This kind of power is really unimaginable. Even my grandfather couldn't stand it in the face of this kind of power. As one of the Konoha Sannin, Tsunade has also seen the world. But now looking at Naruto like this, her worldview was refreshed. The rest of the people, Gaara, Nobita, Neji, etc., were all excited. They knew that the reason Naruto became so powerful was because of Mizuki's teachings. In other words, as long as you follow Mizuki, one day you can become so powerful. When they thought that one day they would have such power, their faces were filled with excitement. Naruto looked at Gamamaru quietly and saw through its true nature at a glance. Advertisement. It turns out that you have not reached a state above the 6 paths. You are only halfway along the way. No wonder you can't even stop your own life from passing away. Gamamaru's realm has indeed surpassed the 6 paths level, but he has not completely entered a new realm. It's equivalent to getting stuck halfway through the breakthrough. Gamamaru looked at Naruto and asked loudly, "How on earth did you do that?" Naruto shook his head without explaining. The opening of the 9th divine gate was too much of a burden for him, and he already felt that his body was about to be unable to bear it. The top priority is not to talk nonsense but to resolve the crisis. The next moment, he appeared above Gamamaru. A hand came out of the light and pressed towards the top of Gamamaru's head. Go to hell. Gamamaru looked at the hand pressing down on him, his whole body trembling. Because in its eyes, this hand encompasses the entire sky and earth. It was like the whole sky had fallen, leaving him with nowhere to hide. I want to resist, but I can't muster any desire to resist. It seems to have seen that under this palm, it will die. No. Gamamaru's first reaction was to deactivate the summoning technique and escape back to Mount Myoboku. But it tried it, but there was no response. The space is locked and there is no way to escape. I don't accept it. How could I die here? I don't accept it. At the critical moment, Gamamaru broke through the psychological barrier and finally raised the consciousness of resistance. It slapped its belly hard with both claws, and the immortal energy stored in it poured out like no money, turned into countless sharp weapons, and stabbed towards Naruto's hand, trying to intercept Naruto's attack. It's useless. Naruto's voice was calm, sounding like he was chatting with a friend. The swords, guns, swords and halberds transformed from the immortal energy disintegrated before they even touched Naruto's hand, turning into the most primitive natural energy and dissipating in the air. Todemaru's resistance is useless, I do not believe. Seeing that Naruto's hand was about to touch him, Gamamaru roared. This time, it mobilized a large amount of fairy energy to its skin, and the skin immediately began to petrify. Since Naruto can't be stopped, he can only do the next best thing and strengthen his defense to resist Naruto's attack. The next moment, Naruto's hand pressed on Gamamaru's forehead. But Gamamaru didn't feel any pain. While it was wondering, it heard. This move is not a physical attack, but an attack on the soul. With this move, your soul will be completely annihilated. The next moment, Gamamaru let out a heartbreaking scream. It felt like its soul was being torn apart, and the pain was 10,000 times more painful than the physical pain. No, let me go, please, I don't want to die, physical death is not real death. The death of the soul is the final destination. Toad 1 is not willing to give in. If it is just physical death, it is not afraid. With his current state, the soul does not need to enter the Pure Land at all. With a simple reincarnation, it can become a frog again. Although its cultivation is gone, it can be rebuilt. But if the soul is gone, it's really over. Master, Fukasaku and Shima became anxious. He wanted to save him, but he was obviously no match for Naruto. Jiraiya, attack them. Fukasaku pointed towards Kushina and others. If you can't deal with Naruto, you can only deal with the people of Phoenix Village. As long as Kushina is in danger, Naruto will definitely give up the Great Toad Sage to save her. By then, Great Toad Sage will be out of danger and escape from here. Jiraiya hesitated. Fukasaku scolded. If you don't take action, the Great Master will die. The Great Master is responsible for maintaining the peace of the ninja world. If something happens to the Great Master, the ninja world will surely fall into chaos. Jiraiya glanced at Tsunade and finally sighed. Advertisement. Oh well. Fukasaku urged. Just use Sage Art, Gomon. One person and two frogs, working together in perfect harmony. Jiraiya sprayed oil, Fukasaku used wind style, and Shima used fire style. The combination of the three caused a huge fire to burn towards the Phoenix Village group. The fire is so powerful that it can melt gold and iron in an instant. Sage Art. Gomon. This level of fire style, Jiraiya. Tsunade looked at Jiraiya with a complicated expression. Seeing the fire coming, Tsunade said, Zabuza, you are the only one here who is good at water style. Can you defend it? Zabuza shook his head. Such a fire style is really terrifying. With my water style ninjutsu, I can't prevent it. But with Bai's help, it'll be fine. Bai said from the side, Hey, Mr. Zabuza, please feel free to take action. Zabuza formed the seal quickly, and finally completed it before fire style reached it. Water style. Water barrier. On the lake, water surged up, forming a wall of water blocking the front. But compared to the raging fire at Gomon, this wall of water seemed a bit sloppy. Before the fire burned, the wall of water had already evaporated and lost one layer. At this time, Bai stepped forward and pressed his hands on the ground. The cold air spread rapidly, and the water wall instantly turned into an ice wall, and it was extremely hard blue ice. Worried that ordinary ice escape would not be able to prevent it, Shiro used Sage Art Chakra, and what he released was also Sage Art, Ice Escape. The next moment, the flames hit the ice wall. The collision of extreme heat and extreme cold caused a large amount of white fog to rise from the lake. The ice wall was still thin and precarious, and it looked like it wouldn't last long, so Zabuza and Shiro teamed up to create several more ice walls. In the end, when Gomon's oil burned out, Tsunade and others behind the ice wall were not harmed at all. Fukasaku and Shima were anxious and urged Jiraiya to continue taking action. But Jiraiya knew that he would never be able to pose a threat to Tsunade and others in a short period of time. Even, you may not be able to beat them. It was both burning and freezing, and thick white mist had risen from the lake. Mom, how are you doing? Naruto asked through the thick fog. He was now concentrating on dealing with Gamamaru and no longer had the energy to sense the situation around him. Kushina shouted. We are fine, don't worry, you focus on dealing with that old toad and kill it directly. Naruto breathed a sigh of relief and increased the intensity of destroying Gamamaru's soul. Fukasaku and Shima were anxious, but it was useless to be anxious. Fukasaku turned around and looked at Gamamaru, who could no longer even struggle, with despair in his eyes. Tsunade asked, Where's that old toad? Did he escape? This old toad is really planning to kill the fish and break the net. Naruto, you can't kill me, but don't worry, I destroyed most of his soul. Even if he doesn't die after returning to Mount Myoboku, he will become dementia, or even fall into a coma and never wake up. Stop immediately, otherwise the magical power accumulated in my body for thousands of years will completely explode, and thousands of miles around will be turned into powder. Maybe you won't die, but your mother, your companions, and everyone in this village will die together with me. Naruto said, It's planning to blow up and kill everyone, I can only let it go. Naruto, how are you? A group of people teleported to Naruto and helped him up. Naruto's expression changed. At this time, Naruto had reached his limit, but fortunately, Gamamaru's soul was about to be completely annihilated. Naruto's momentum continued to decline, and he finally fell into the water with a plop. Damn it, the power of the ninth divine sect is about to end. If it explodes, not only will I not be able to save others, but I will also die. Is our Mount Myoboku Toad clan really doomed? Naruto looked haggard, but he still smiled and said, I'm fine. Fukasaku, Shima and Jiraiya were also taken away by it. He felt that the celestial magic ability in Gamamaru's body had begun to rage. Naruto's eyes were full of reluctance, but he couldn't let go. Naruto was reluctant to stop, and the next moment, Gamamaru disappeared and fled back to Mount Myoboku. Chapter 209. The centipede is dead but not stiff. Mount Myoboku, the mountaintop temple. Gamamaru suddenly appeared and sat slumped on the throne. It looks intact on the surface, but its condition is extremely bad. More air out, less air in. Damn Uzumaki Naruto. It was extremely angry and regretful in its heart. This time I came to Phoenix Village happily. I thought I could easily capture Uzumaki Naruto, win the heavenly resentment U, and return to the top. But I didn't expect that stealing the chicken will end up losing the rice. The 9-gate Dunjia suddenly appeared and beat it into a fool. Uzumaki Naruto, who has surpassed 6 pads level strength, is really terrifying. The helpless feeling of having no power to resist and could only wait for death made it feel deeply powerless. If it hadn't forced itself to explode in the end, its soul would have been annihilated by now and it would be completely dead. Sir, how are you? Below, Jiraiya, Fukasaku, and Shima looked up at the toad digging with worries on their faces. They could feel that Gamamaru was dying. Life is passing, and the energy of death has emerged. Why? Gamamaru sighed, his tone full of helplessness. I can't survive anymore and I'm about to die. Fukasaku and Shima's faces instantly turned pale. The reason why Mount Myoboku has become one of the 3 holy places is not because of the couple, nor because of Gamabunta, Gamadake, Gamahiro and other toads. But because of Toadpill. Fukasaku looked anxious. No, how could this happen? No, absolutely not possible. What will Mount Myoboku do without the Great Master? Suddenly it thought of something and immediately said, Master, don't we still have the ancestral talisman? The talisman can definitely save you. Tamamaru shook his head. It's useless. The immortal talisman can only heal physical wounds. What I suffered was an injury at the soul level. The immortal talisman is ineffective on me. Hey, if we get heavenly resentment with the help of abundant vitality, we can feed our soul through our body, but it's a pity. It's a pity that Tenuu didn't get it. Fukasaku sat down on the ground, heartbroken. Gamamaru is Mount Myoboku's sea-fixing needle. Once Gamamaru is gone, Mount Myoboku will fall to the position of the 3 holy places. Although it will not completely decline, it is still a level lower than the other 2 holy places. Master, is there really nothing we can do? Gamamaru said, Okay, there's no need to talk about this anymore. I don't have much time. I brought you back by force because I have extremely important matters to explain, which are related to the future of Mount Myoboku. As it spoke, it looked at Jiraiya and said, Jiraiya, you go out first. The next thing is the internal affairs of Mount Myoboku and has nothing to do with you. Jiraiya asked, Great Toad Sage, are you really? Jiraiya still has some feelings for Gamamaru, but now that Gamamaru is about to die, his heart is full of reluctance. Gamamaru said, Don't be sad, everything dies. As a ninja, you were used to death, so you don't have to worry about me. Go, I don't have much time, there are some things you shouldn't know. Jiraiya nodded, turned around and walked out of the temple door. When he was at the temple door, he looked back, but the temple door was already closed. Hey, Jiraiya sighed again and walked down the mountain. He was filled with remorse. If he had not summoned Fukasaku and Shima, Gamamaru would not have known about the natural energy in Phoenix Village. If Gamamaru hadn't descended on Mount Myoboku, he wouldn't have been beaten to death by Naruto. Blame me. Advertisement in the temple. Gamamaru looked at Fukasaku and Shima. Don't worry, I won't die. Mount Myoboku also has a soul-like talisman, which can ensure that my soul injury will not worsen. Fukasaku and Shima were overjoyed. Very good. But Gamamaru shook his head and said, Don't be too happy too soon. Although the immortal talisman can maintain my soul, this time it takes too much. Even if the soul does not die, the body will not survive today. What? The joy that had just risen on Fukasaku's face suddenly disappeared. Extreme joy brings sorrow. Gamamaru said, For now, I have no choice but to reincarnate and give up this body. Only the new body has abundant vitality and can slowly nourish my damaged soul. Fukasaku said, This is easy to handle. There are a lot of frog eggs in the Yunsheng pond. The elder can just pick one at will. Gamamaru shook his head. I have been reincarnated many times, each time in the body of a toad. This time, I have a new plan. I want to be reincarnated as a human, and I want to take this opportunity to obtain the secret skill of Fenghuang Village. Fukasaku frowned and said, However, Phoenix Village is too dangerous, and it will be difficult for us to send your soul there. And there may not be any babies about to be born in Phoenix Village right now. Tamamaru said, You don't need to go directly to Phoenix Village. You just need to find a human pregnant woman at will in the Kingdom of Birds. When I am born, I will show my strong ninja talent, and I will enter Phoenix Village sooner or later. Fukasaku nodded and said, That's no problem. Gamamaru added, My soul is severely damaged. After reincarnation, I am afraid I will not have any previous memories before the age of 4, so I need you to protect me secretly. Nothing happens, otherwise I will never have a chance to come back. Fukasaku and Shima said loudly, Don't worry, sir, we will definitely not let anything happen to you. Gamamaru then explained, After I leave, the senjutsu power stored in the body will return to Mount Myoboku, and the natural energy concentration will increase several times. You need to practice hard to become stronger. In addition, Mount Myoboku will be closed from today. If there is no important matter, the Mount Myoboku Toad Clan will no longer appear in the ninja world. Until the day I return. After explaining what needed to be explained, Gamamaru closed his eyes. The next moment, an immortal talisman flew down from the air. This talisman was attached to Tamamaru's forehead and emitted 1,000 feet of green light. After a while, the green light dissipated. Gamamaru finally said, Remember, no one can know about my reincarnation. When the words fell, it stopped talking. From the center of its eyebrows, a green ball flew out. In the ball, a faint shadow of an extremely damaged toad could be seen. This is the soul of Gamamaru. Gamamaru's soul ball automatically flew to Fukasaku, and Fukasaku held it carefully with both hands. Old lady, let's go. The two toads, carrying Gamamaru's soul ball, quietly left Mount Myoboku again. On the throne, Tamamaru's body suddenly turned into dots of green light and disappeared. The natural energy concentration of Mount Myoboku increased at a rapid rate, increasing 5 to 6 times before it was over. The temple became empty. Suddenly, the body of Sage of Six Paths was realized by the hollow. Looking at the empty toad throne, Sage of Six Paths sighed. Old man, I didn't expect you to reach this point. The country of birds, Phoenix Village. After the battle, Naruto looked haggard and sleepy. Naruto, go to sleep if you want. Don't worry, we still have us in the village. It'll be fine. Kushina looked distressed. Naruto said, don't worry, I have to resurrect Mr. Kakashi first. Resurrect Kakashi? Everyone was shocked. Advertisement. Tsunade asked hurriedly, didn't you say that the Pure Land is sealed and cannot be resurrected? Naruto smiled and said, I entered a new realm just now and broke the seal. Although the seal was automatically repaired immediately after being broken, it was enough for me to resurrect Mr. Kakashi. The next moment, Naruto took out Kakashi's body from Kamui's space. Heretic. Rinne Tensai technique. The green light enveloped Kakashi, and after it dissipated, Kakashi opened his eyes. However, his left eye is no longer a Rinnegan, but has become an ordinary eye. Am I resurrected? Everyone else was happy to see Kakashi resurrected. Tsunade asked Naruto, Naruto, can you help me resurrect someone? Tsunade wants to resurrect his former lover, Kato Dan. Naruto said, the seal of the Pure Land has been repaired. It will take a few days until I enter the ninth gate state again. Tsunade nodded repeatedly. Okay Naruto, go and rest. Kushina urged. Naruto said, I will report what just happened and then go home and sleep. After saying that, he entered the Kamui space. Such a big thing happened in Phoenix Village and Gamamaru was beaten like that by him, so he had to tell Mizuki. As soon as Naruto entered Kamui's space, Mizuki noticed it and woke up. Naruto, what's wrong with you? Why are you so depressed? Mizuki asked with a smile. Naruto said, Master, something happened just now, and I think it is necessary to let you know. What's going on? Mizuki became interested. Naruto looked sad and said with sadness, just now, the great toad sage of Mount Myoboku came to the village and wanted to capture me and seize the heavenly enemy you. What? Mizuki was shocked. Quickly, tell me quickly, what has Gamamaru done to the village? Mizuki was done thinking, Phoenix Village might be gone. Seeing Mizuki so anxious, Naruto suddenly smiled, and the sadness on his face immediately disappeared. Hey, master, you have been fooled. Nothing is happening in the village. I opened the ninth gate of the Nine Dunjia gate and almost killed that old toad. If it hadn't planned to self-destruct, I definitely wouldn't have let it go. However, even though I let it escape, its soul was severely damaged by me, and it will become dementia even if it doesn't die. Also, in the ninth divine gate state, I briefly broke the seal of the Pure Land, and just resurrected teacher Kakashi. Naruto scratched his head and said shyly, a hero? Well, it's thanks to my master who taught me the secret technique, otherwise I wouldn't have the strength. Did I hear it right? But looking at Naruto's excited description, Mizuki knew that what he said was true. But the next moment, Mizuki punched Naruto on the head. Naruto, thank you so much this time. It's not in vain that I spent so much thought on him, now I can finally take charge of myself. A pleased smile appeared on Mizuki's lips. When you wake up, I will hold a celebration party for you to celebrate the birth of our hero in Phoenix Village. Before he finished speaking, Naruto's voice became smaller and then became silent. Okay, you are very tired now, go home and sleep. Ah, it hurts. By the way, master, I don't think you need to fake death now. The great toad sage of Mount Myoboku no longer poses any threat to us. Mizuki opened his mouth and listened blankly. Next time you dare to joke with me like this, I will spread your ****. Mizuki shook his head, gently supported Naruto who was about to fall to the ground, and gently placed him on the ground, letting him lie down to sleep. Naruto opened the ninth divine gate and almost killed Gamamaru? Naruto covered his head and asked, Master, why did you hit me? Mizuki snorted coldly. Humph, I made you lie to me just now by acting like you were going to die. Even if I hit you, it would be a light blow. Chapter 210. Orochimaru, I have a gift for you. Nine-gate Dunjia is so powerful. Gamamaru is so strong, but he was severely injured and dying by Naruto in the nine-gate state. In this case, won't I have any worries? The reason why he faked his death was to hide it from Sage of Six Paths and Gamamaru, and then enter the secret realm of the Uzumaki clan on the next full moon night to find a way to break the space blockade. But now, there is no need. Toadmaru is useless even if he doesn't die. The others, such as Ryuchi Cave White Snake Sage and Shishibone Forest Katsuyu Sage, are at most about the same strength as the previous Gamamaru. Even if they want to target themselves, once the ninth divine gate is opened, won't they be beaten? Invincible. At this moment, Mizuki suddenly felt boring. Suddenly, something occurred to him. No, not invincible yet. Although there is no one who can match me in the ninja world, there are still many strong people outside the ninja world. For example, the Otsutsuki clan. There may be other stronger beings besides Otsutsuki. After all, the universe is infinite and has infinite possibilities. Moreover, I came from time travel, and if time travel can happen, then there must be a stronger existence beyond my understanding. And the existence of the system is also a mystery. Who created the system? How strong is he? Thinking about it this way, I feel like my strength is still far behind. So, you must not lie down, you must continue to get stronger. Thinking of this, Mizuki's heart, which had just been about to expand, immediately cooled down. You haven't even stepped out of the ninja world, so what qualifications do you have for expansion? It is safest to just rely on the system to become stronger. In addition, 9 Gates Dunjia is only an explosive secret technique and cannot be regarded as absolute strength. No matter how many doors are opened, the duration is limited. Although the 9th door is strong, it only has the power of 1 blow after being opened, and it can only be opened once every 3 days. The 9th divine gate can only be opened at critical moments and cannot be used as a routine method. Therefore, Jiaman Dunjia cannot be considered as hard power at all. You must not place your own safety on this secret technique, otherwise if you are not good, you will die without knowing it. If you encounter a strong enemy within the 3-day cooldown period, it's not the end. There's no need to worry about Gamaru anymore, then it's time to get down to business. The steps towards unifying the ninja world can begin. Unifying the ninja world was the goal set by Mizuki when he established Phoenix Village. Not for power, not for peace, not for vanity, but as a time traveler, now that I have come to Otherworld, how can I not do something earth-shattering? At least, if there are time travelers in future generations, they won't be despised by them and say that they have done nothing. After I unify the ninja world, I will build a giant statue and write my autobiography in Chinese to spread it forever. Maybe someone who comes later will see it and pay tribute. Mizuki thought happily. Various plans sprang into his mind. It is not easy to unify the ninja world. It is impossible for him to rely on himself and people like Phoenix Village. Unifying the ninja world is not about conquering by force. The unification achieved by force is only a false unity on the surface. Once there is no force to suppress it, the so-called unity will immediately disintegrate. Advertisement: if we want to achieve unification, we still have to approach it from all aspects and work together. Culture, economy, etc. Force can only be used as a means of unification, but it can never be used as an absolute basis. Take it easy. But there is one thing that must be dealt with immediately. A trace of murderous intent flashed in Mizuki's eyes. Leaving Naruto to sleep on the ground, Mizuki left the Kamui dimension and found Kushina. Uchiha Sasuke, we can't stay. Find his location and I will take action myself. The second pillar must die. Even Kakashi can kill him. If he doesn't kill this kind of person, keeping him will sooner or later be a disaster. If you weren't worried that I wouldn't be Naruto's opponent, I'm afraid he wouldn't just kill Kakashi this time. Mizuki was no longer hesitant. I have known for a long time that Urzuzi is a traitor, and he will harm anyone who treats him well. But Mizuki has never planned to take action against Sasuke. His qualifications are really too good. Every time the system returns him, the multiplier is not low. Not to mention how cool it is to pluck system wool from him. But now, Mizuki has made up his mind, must be killed. Even if he keeps it, he will never get anything back from him. I've looked for it before, but couldn't find it. It should have been hidden in the secret realm again, Kushina said. Mizuki said, it's okay, let's look for it again, maybe it's out. If it hasn't come out yet, then I have to find a way to get to Ryuchi Cave. Mizuki didn't want to wait anymore. The sooner he kills the second pillar, the more at ease he will be. Moreover, Sasuke deceived Tien from Naruto. If he waits for him to complete his cultivation, it may not be that easy to kill him. Kushina nodded, controlled the perception barrier, and began to search for Sasuke's aura. Mizuki injects chakra into the center of the barrier to expand the range of the barrier's perception. As a result, there was still no trace of Sasuke. It seems that it is indeed inside Ryuchi Cave. In that case, I will find a way to enter Ryuchi Cave. This time, he will die. Ryuchi Cave is one of the 3 sacred sites, and its secret location, like Mount Myoboku, is in a very remote and uninhabited land. It is very difficult to find the secret place. But Ryuchi Cave, like Mount Myoboku, also has entrances and exits on the 5 great nations side. As long as you find the entrance and exit, you can successfully enter Ryuchi Cave. The only ones who know the entrance to Ryuchi Cave are Orochimaru and Yakushi Kabuto. Yakushi Kabuto has transformed into Kabuto Sennin, and it's obvious that he has entered the Ryuchi Cave. However, Mizuki does not plan to go to Yakushi Kabuto, but to Orochimaru. Take this opportunity to resurrect Namikaze Minato and reunite Naruto's family of 3. With Minato alive, Phoenix Village will have one more powerful fighter. In addition, Mizuki really couldn't let go of Sasuke, so he had a strange idea. If Orochimaru takes over Sasuke's body, will he still be considered my disciple? Can I still get returns from him? Whether it will work or not, I don't know now. Just try and you will find out. Thinking of this, Mizuki couldn't wait, and he was ready to go to Konoha to find Orochimaru immediately. However, he did not use Flying Thunder God to dodge directly outside Konoha village. Instead, he took high altitude and flew towards Konoha. Advertisement: while flying, observe the movements of the 5 major villages below. Outside Phoenix Village, the people in the 5 great ninja villages were all frightened. When Todemaru came to Fenghuang village before, its huge size was so conspicuous that people in the 5 major villages could see it clearly even from a few kilometers away. The whole battle between Naruto and Gamamaru was watched by people from the 5 major villages. I thought Phoenix Village was doomed, but who would have thought that it turned out to be Naruto beating Todemaru? The terrifying 9-gate Dunjia only reached the 8th gate when Senju Hashirama bluntly stated that he was no match. Not to mention, Naruto opened a 9th door later. Now, people from the 5 major villages are rushing to leave, it is too dangerous here. As for the tailed beast, whoever wants it wants it. Mizuki stood high in the sky, looking at the retreating army from Rock Shinobi Village, with a cold light in his eyes. Onoki, you previously united with Mount Myoboku to kill me. I have never forgotten this grudge. For the temporary stability of the ninja world and the subsequent unification of the ninja world, I will not do anything to you Rock Shinobi Village, but I will not let you go. Let Uchiha Itachi and Hoshigaki Kisame play with you first. Once you deal with Sasuke, it'll be your turn. The next moment, Mizuki disappeared from the same place, and when he reappeared, he was already outside Konoha village. At this time, Konoha was still very peaceful. Although Pain wanted to attack, he was still halfway there and had not arrived. Tiandao Pain has not yet been resurrected, and all the poison in the poison sac has not been dissipated. Mizuki sneaked into Konoha village quietly and came near the Hokage building. Through the window, he saw Orochimaru in the Hokage's office. Orochimaru, come meet me on the roof. In the office, Orochimaru suddenly stiffened, and he recognized Mizuki's voice. Mizuki-kun. Orochimaru was a little worried, but after thinking about it, he realized that there was nothing to worry about. Mizuki even sneaked in and was about to kill him, but he couldn't resist. Of course, even if Mizuki wants to kill himself, it won't be that easy. After all, he still has a lot of life-saving abilities. Orochimaru stood up and walked to the top of the building. Mizuki-kun comes here and comes in such a peaceful way, it's really rare, Orochimaru smiled. Of course, only he knows whether it is a real smile or a fake smile. Mizuki turned around, looked at Orochimaru, and said, Orochimaru, I have a gift for you. Do you dare to ask for it? Orochimaru was stunned for a moment and asked, Mizuki-kun, are you going to give me a gift? Mizuki nodded, looking serious. Yes, it's what you dream of. Orochimaru's eyes suddenly shone with light, his tongue unconsciously stuck out, and he washed his face. He already knew what Mizuki was talking about. Mizuki twitched the corner of his mouth. No matter how many times he saw Orochimaru's habitual movements, he still felt sick. Why did Mizuki-kun suddenly have such an idea? Sasuke, isn't he your disciple? Mizuki. Stop talking nonsense, just say whether you want it or not. Orochimaru said hurriedly, yes, of course I want it. This is what I dream of. How can I refuse? However, Mizuki-kun suddenly gave me such a big gift. It shouldn't be free, right? Mizuki smiled. It's comfortable to deal with smart people. Yes, I have a request. Release the soul of 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato inside Shinigami. Chapter 211. Reaching intention to cooperate after Orochimaru actually saw Mizuki, he realized that Mizuki was not dead at all. That idiot Jiraiya also said that Mizuki was killed by the Great Toad Sage. He's not dead at all, and he found Konoha. Fortunately, Mizuki didn't have murderous intent, otherwise Orochimaru felt that he was doomed. Mizuki said to release Namikaze Minato's soul. Orochimaru's eyes darkened after hearing this. I don't know how to do this, Orochimaru looked troubled. Different from the anime, in the anime, Orochimaru launched the Konoha collapse plan, but was sealed by the 3rd Hokage using a ghoul, sealing his hands. In order to free his hands, Orochimaru did a lot of research on ghoul seal and Shinigami, and finally found a way to get stuck in Shinigami bug. Now, Orochimaru has not encountered the ghoul seal, so there is no research on Shinigami. Mizuki was not surprised and asked, how much do you know about the technique of sealing the corpse? Orochimaru pondered for a moment and said, after I became the 5th Hokage, I fully understood the secrets of the village. I don't know much about the forbidden technique of Forbidden Seal. I only know that it is a forbidden technique from the Uzumaki clan. It's about dying with the enemy. With the help of Shinigami's power, the enemy's soul is sealed in Shinigami's belly, but as a price, the caster's soul will also be taken away by Shinigami. The 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato used this technique to seal 9 tails. The other thing is, during the Chunin exam, the 3rd generation old man used the ghoul seal on you, but unfortunately it failed. It seems that the so-called Shinigami is not too powerful to resist. Indeed, Sarutobi Hiruzen did use ghoul seal at that time. But in the end, Mizuki directly dispelled Shinigami with one move of Shinra Tensei. Isn't Shinigami strong? Mizuki doesn't think so. The power of Shinra Tenjung is actually not that strong, at least it is definitely not stronger than 9 tails. During the battle between Pain and Naruto, who transformed into a tailed beast, forcibly broke through the Shinra Tensei with only the power of his 6 tails. The total power of 9 tails would definitely far exceed that of Shinra Tenjung. But even the complete 9 tails can't withstand the sealing of the zombies. This shows that Shinigami's power is higher than that of 9 tails. According to this statement, Shinigami is stronger than 9 tails, and 9 tails is stronger than Shinra Tensei, so Shinigami should not be dispelled by mere Shinra Tensei. But the fact is that Shinigami was indeed broken up by Shinra Tenjung. Even now, Mizuki still remembers the fear in Shinigami's eyes when he faced the Shinra Tensei. This is unreasonable, very unreasonable. Mizuki frowned, feeling something was wrong. Could it be that what Shinigami fears is not the power of Shinra Tensei, but the Rinnegan behind Shinra Tensei? Shaking his head, Mizuki didn't think much about it. What exactly is Shinigami afraid of? He has no way of answering this question. He said to Orochimaru, "Now that you understand the ceiling of the zombies, it will be easy to handle. Advertisement, as you know, Naruto is my beloved disciple, and he helped me a lot this time, so I decided to resurrect the 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato and reunite the Naruto family. I need to rely on you for this matter." Orochimaru asked. "Minato's soul is in Shinigami. Since you found me, you have a way. Tell me, what should I do?" Mizuki said. "There is a Shinigami mask in the Uzumaki clan's name in Hall. After you put it on, you can summon Shinigami. Then you cut open the abdomen with a knife, and you can release Minato's soul inside the Shinigami. I will use the Rinne Tensei technique to revive Minato." Orochimaru said, "After summoning Shinigami, will my soul be taken away by Shinigami and die?" Mizuki. "If it were anyone else, he would really die, but you, Orochimaru, won't. Your living corpse reincarnation technique can be reincarnated into someone else's body the moment before Shinigami takes away your soul. That way, Shinigami won't be able to do anything to you. I will help you capture Uchiha Sasuke this time, and then his body will be yours." Orochimaru licked his lips excitedly. He had been coveting Urju's body for a long time and tried his best to get it, but he couldn't get it. This time, he took the initiative to deliver it to his door. This was something he never dreamed of. But after the excitement, he calmed down. "According to what you said, it is indeed feasible, but there is one problem, and that is my living corpse reincarnation technique. Every time I use it, there must be an interval of more than 3 years before I can use it again. And it's been less than a year since I last used living corpse reincarnation. Now, I can't use living corpse reincarnation at all." Orochimaru's living corpse reincarnation takes other people's bodies for his own use, and Orochimaru can even achieve immortality through this. But this thing involves the soul, which is not that simple. First, the living corpse reincarnation technique must be used on a living person. There is a soul in the body of a living person. If you want to take the body, you must devour the soul of the original owner. And how could others sit back and wait for themselves to be swallowed up? They would definitely resist. Therefore, even if living corpse reincarnation succeeds, Orochimaru's soul will be severely damaged. 3 years are used to restore the soul. Only when the wounds on the soul are healed can he proceed to the next living corpse reincarnation. Otherwise, if you use living corpse reincarnation on people before your soul has recovered, 80% of the people who will be devoured in the end will be yourself. Especially for someone like Uchiha, who is naturally mentally strong, Orochimaru has to be even more cautious. Mizuki pondered for a moment, then said, "You are just worried that the living corpse reincarnation will fail, and your soul will be swallowed by Sasuke instead. You don't need to worry about this issue. I have a method that can temporarily increase your mental power several times, enough to allow you to easily take over Sasuke's body. Spiritual power is the power of the soul. Liushin toilet water can increase mental strength after smelling it. Although it is temporary, the effect is very effective. With mental power increased several times, it would be strange that living corpse reincarnation would fail." Orochimaru did not dare to take risks and said, "This is too risky." Advertisement. Orochimaru was afraid of death and could not agree easily. Mizuki smiled, took out the Liushin toilet water and said, "If you don't believe it, you'll know after you smell it." Orochimaru was dubious and didn't dare to reach out to take it. Mizuki mocked. "With my strength, if I really want to kill you, I don't need to resort to other tricks at all." Orochimaru's expression froze and he accepted it helplessly. "Just lift the lid and smell it." Orochimaru followed the instructions and took a sip, and then his expression changed. This feeling, Orochimaru's eyes widened in surprise, feeling something he had never experienced before. With this level of mental strength, I can ignore even 1 on 7 illusions. Orochimaru felt like he was floating. But the good times did not last long, and the effects of Liushin toilet water soon wore off. After his mental strength returned to normal, Orochimaru had an unfinished expression on his face and planned to take another whiff. Mizuki stopped immediately. Universal pull draws the toilet water bottle directly onto your hand. If you don't want to die, don't do that. You can only smell this thing once a day. If you smell it too much, you will have a nervous breakdown. Now, do you think the living corpse reincarnation technique can be used? Mizuki said calmly. "You don't need to worry so much, just tell me where the entrance to Ryuchi Cave is." Yes, with this thing, living corpse reincarnation technique can be used casually, every day. Sasuke is hiding in Ryuchi Cave right now. I want to capture him. 1 against 7, I was defeated so completely by your hands. I will always remember this hatred. Just wait. Next time we meet, I will let you know the true strength of me, Orochimaru. After Mizuki wrote it down, he said, "I will wait for you at the Uzumaki clan's Namendo at this time tomorrow. Uchiha Sasuke, your body is finally mine. In that case, tell me the entrance to Ryuchi Cave." Orochimaru nodded repeatedly. Orochimaru stood on the top of the building, looking at the scenery in the distance, a smile unconsciously hanging on his lips. Especially the white snake immortal. Although I have never seen it take action, I can feel that its strength is very terrifying. Orochimaru said, "You really want to go to Ryuchi Cave? It is not a good place. Like Mount Myoboku, Ryuchi Cave is one of the 3 major summoning holy places and is very powerful." After saying that, Mizuki's figure disappeared in a flash. "Although you are strong, I heard from Jiraiya that you are no match for Mount Myoboku Great Toad Sage. For the same reason, if you go to Ryuchi Cave." After a moment of silence, Orochimaru gave Mizuki an address. Orochimaru didn't finish what he said, it was enough to say what he said, there was no need to say it so obviously. "Uchiha Sasuke, I will bring it back," Mizuki smiled. Chapter 212. The frightened white snake immortal. After learning about the entrance to Ryuchi Cave from Orochimaru, Mizuki did not enter immediately. Instead, he first found the entrance to Mount Myoboku and planned to sneak in to see whether Gamamaru was dead or alive. But when I arrived, I discovered that the entrance to Mount Myoboku had been closed. The underwater passage leading to Mount Myoboku has lost its use. It seems that if you want to enter Mount Myoboku, you can only go to a remote no man's land, forcefully break through the secret realm and enter. After almost dying on Mount Myoboku several times, Mizuki has a deep hatred for the Toad Clan. He would be dissatisfied if Mount Myoboku was not destroyed. But now that I can't enter Mount Myoboku, I can only suppress this hatred in my heart, waiting for the opportunity to explode. If you can't get into Mount Myoboku, let's go to Ryuchi Cave first. Kill Sasuke, the white-eyed wolf first. Ryuchi Cave, it is said that only madmen bent on seeking power have the opportunity to enter here. According to the address Orochimaru said, Mizuki found the entrance to Ryuchi Cave in an underground river somewhere in Tiano country. Only a guy like Orochimaru who likes to burrow in the ground can find such a remote place. The dark cave ahead exudes a gloomy atmosphere, there is a fishy smell in the air. The hissing sounds of snakes were everywhere, and they crawled silently, staring at Mizuki, the foreign intruder, with their cold eyes. There are all kinds of snakes, venomous and non-venomous, thick, thin, long and short. All kinds of snakes that can be seen in the outside world, whether common or rare, are found here. Mizuki ignored these ordinary snakes and walked deeper into the cave. He could feel the strong spatial fluctuations in front of him. Obviously, this Ryuchi Cave entrance is also a space passage. Through here, you can directly cross a long distance and directly reach the secret realm of Ryuchi Cave, which is located in the no man's land at the other end of the ninja world. At the same time, in the temple deep in Ryuchi Cave, the white snake immortal was sitting cross-legged on the throne, holding a slender pipe in his mouth, smoking every puff. Suddenly it stopped smoking and narrowed its eyes slightly. Another human being breaks in. Haha, there are so many people pursuing power. I just don't know how obsessed this new guy is. It spits out slender apricots from its mouth and sniffs the air. After sniffing for a while, the white snake immortal frowned. It didn't smell the desire for power, only anger and murderous intent. You're not here to pursue power, but to kill people? This murderous intention is directed at that boy from the Uchiha clan. Such a powerful chakra, such a powerful life energy. Who is it? Uzumaki Naruto. The white snake immortal was so shocked that the snake scales all over his body stood up. Advertisement: Uzumaki Naruto beat Gamamaru until he was seriously injured and was about to die, and beat Mount Myoboku to the point where it was sealed. White Snake Sage knew about this immediately, and Uzumaki Naruto was also listed as a being that must not be provoked. No, we must not let him enter Ryuchi Cave. If he takes action randomly, I'm afraid I will end up like that stupid toad. Ryuchi Cave is my home. If it is destroyed, it will be over. Thinking of this, Immortal White Snake dared not hesitate. It has a way to check who is coming, but now is not the time, and checking will take time. It immediately called out, "Shenji, close the entrance and exit of the secret realm immediately, quickly." Somewhere in the Ryuchi Cave, Tianxin Shenji heard the call of the White Snake Sennin and immediately began to form seals without thinking. As the seal was completed, the space fluctuations suddenly became violent at the entrance of Ryuchi Cave. In the cave, Mizuki was walking towards the depths when his eyes suddenly froze. The space channel is closing. Humph, are you aware of my arrival and don't want me to go in? Hundreds of meters ahead, space is distorting. A circular space door appeared and quickly shrank. Once this space door completely shrinks and disappears, Mizuki will never be able to enter Ryuchi Cave again. The space door shrinks very quickly. At this speed, it will be completely closed in less than 1 second. As for the distance of hundreds of meters, even flying is too late. HMPH, if you want to keep me out, there's no way. Apparition. Mizuki's figure disappeared on the spot, replaced by a small snake. At this time, Mizuki was already behind the space gate, with the rapidly shrinking space gate behind him. In the blink of an eye, the space door shrank to a point, and the entrance and exit to Ryuchi Cave and the outside world completely disappeared. Unfortunately, Mizuki has already come in. A distance of hundreds of meters is nothing in the face of apparition. In the temple, the expression of Immortal White Snake, who was sitting cross-legged on a stone chair, suddenly changed. He's in. Damn it, how did he get in? The entrance closed so fast, even with the body flicker technique, it was too late. The White Snake Immortal was a little panicked. He was about the same strength as Gamamaru, how could he withstand a beating from Uzumaki Naruto? What to do? What if he really messes around? How about giving up Ryuchi Cave and running away? As a snake, my lifespan is much longer than that of a toad. Even if I go to the outside world where the natural energy concentration is extremely low, I won't worry. At worst, I will just hibernate. But giving up the ancestral Ryuchi Cave, this. The more he thinks about it, the more panic he gets. At this moment, Tien Shinji came to the temple. Advertisement. Ancestor, why did you suddenly ask me to close the entrance? White Snake Immortal stopped smoking and said, Shenji, I think we are going to be finished today. Uzumaki Naruto has entered Ryuchi Cave. We are finished. Otherwise, let's abandon Ryuchi Cave and live in the outside world. Tien Shinji asked. The Uzumaki Naruto who defeated Mount Myoboku Toad Sage? The White Snake Immortal nodded. Tien Shinji wondered. Uzumaki Naruto is indeed powerful, but why is he coming to Ryuchi Cave? We have no grudge against him, he won't do anything to us, right? White Snake Sage worriedly said. He exudes murderous intent and is targeting Uchiha Sasuke. In other words, he entered Ryuchi Cave to kill Uchiha Sasuke. But what if he hates snakes? What if any clan member offends him and he kills us? What if he thinks we're protecting Uchiha Sasuke and kills us all? What if he is in a bad mood and kills anyone he sees? Tien Shinji. There are so many possibilities, why don't you say that if you choke to death by smoking? Ancestor, don't worry so much. Since the other party is here to kill Uchiha Sasuke, then we can just hand over Sasuke. Or, drive Uchiha Sasuke out of Ryuchi Cave, then tell Uzumaki Naruto, and he will naturally leave and go after Sasuke. Immortal White Snake's eyes lit up. Yes, why didn't I think of that? Well, it's up to you to go see him and tell him that we are willing to hand Sasuke over to him and ask him not to mess around. Tien Shinji said. So ancestors, where is the other party now? Immortal White Snake said. Don't worry, I'll take a look. It blew out a puff of smoke from its mouth, forming a smoke ring, and an image immediately appeared in the circle. Hey, is this Uzumaki Naruto? If I remember correctly, Uzumaki Naruto should be a kid about the same age as Uchiha Sasuke. This guy doesn't look like a human kid. When White Snake Sennin saw Mizuki in the picture, he was immediately confused. Tien Shinji looked at the screen, and then rolled her eyes. Ancestor, this is not Uzumaki Naruto at all. Immortal White Snake was a little embarrassed. He had been worried for a long time, but he made a mistake? Damn, this is so embarrassing. Do you know this person? Tien Shinjin looked at it again, and then said, if I am not mistaken, this person should be the first generation Hokage Mizuki of Phoenix Village. He is also the mentor of Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke. Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke's skills were all taught by this Mizuki. Immortal White Snake's heart, which had just relaxed, immediately became excited again. What, Uzumaki Naruto's teacher? It's over. The apprentices are so cruel. As a teacher, isn't he stronger? What can we do? He wants to kill even his own disciples. The Ryuchi Cave Snake Clan, won't we be completely finished this time? Chapter 213. Ryuchi Cave's Choice, Sasuke's Cold-Bloodedness. White Snake Sennin felt that Mizuki even killed his own disciples, which showed how crazy he was. It's really scary for such dangerous people to enter Ryuchi Cave. Tien Shinji said. Ancestor, as far as I know, Mizuki is not bloodthirsty. Also, Mizuki doesn't seem to be particularly strong. He almost died at the hands of Mount Myoboku Great Toad Sage several times. In the finals of this Rock Shinobi Village Chunin exam, Konoha Village's Jiraiya and Rock Shinobi Village's 2-day scale Onoki, plus Mount Myoboku's Toad, joined forces to send Mizuki to the temple of Mount Myoboku Great Toad Sage. Then news came out that Mizuki was killed by the Great Toad Sage. This is how the 5 major villages gathered in Phoenix Village to capture the tailed beast. Who would have thought that Mizuki was not dead at all and came to our Ryuchi Cave? Tien Shinji's words suddenly calmed down Immortal White Snake's panicked heart. You said he couldn't beat that old toad? Tien Shinji nodded. Yes, according to intelligence, Mizuki almost died on Mount Myoboku several times. The Great Toad Sage has also been looking for opportunities to kill Mizuki. It can be seen that Mizuki's strength is definitely not particularly strong, at least it has never reached the level of our ancestors. The White Snake Immortal began to puff away the clouds again, and his mood seemed to become lighter. But soon, it frowned again. Wrong, he is Uzumaki Naruto's master. He taught Uzumaki Naruto all his skills. Uzumaki Naruto can beat Gamamaru half to death, but Mizuki is definitely stronger. Tien Shinji. Ancestor, you have lived for thousands of years. It is very common for a disciple to be stronger than his teacher. If Mizuki was really stronger than the Great Toad Sage, it would be impossible for him to survive several close calls on Mount Myoboku. Besides, don't you know how strong he is by feeling it? White Snake Sage was silent, frantically sensing the situation inside Mizuki's body. The amount of chakra is very large, far exceeding that of ordinary ninjas. However, although the quantity of chakra is large, the quality has not yet reached the 6 paths level. And this amount of chakra is nothing in my opinion. There is the celestial magic chakra in his body, but it seems that he did not cultivate it himself. This perception immediately eliminated most of the worries in White Snake Immortal's heart. Ultimately, the strength of a ninja comes down to chakra. Mizuki's chakra, whether its quantity or quality, is nothing in the eyes of strong men like White Snake Sennin. 2 eyes, one is a Sharingan, which can be ignored. The other Rinnegan is golden. It seems to be stronger than the ordinary Rinnegan, but without Magatama, it shouldn't be much stronger. Taken together, his strength has not reached the 6 pads level. After sensing this, Immortal White Snake was relieved. This is what Tienshin Jinji said. Mizuki's Rinnegan can hollow the body and is immune to any attacks. It is a kind of time and space ninjutsu. In addition, according to intelligence, he also masters 2 other time and space ninjutsu. One is the Flying Thunder God technique, and the other is called displacement, which can instantly change places with any object in the field of vision. White Snake Sage blew out a smoke ring and said with a smile, "It doesn't matter, for the strong, time and space ninjutsu and so on are just trivial things. Since his strength has not reached 6 pads level, there is no threat. I was just worried. I thought he was powerful because he was Uzumaki Naruto's teacher." Immortal White Snake was relieved now. The scales that exploded on his body flattened back, and his pupils, which had shrunk several times, returned to normal. He continued to curl up on the chair and smoke, ahem. It coughed twice to hide its embarrassment. Advertisement. After all, his frightened look just now was seen by his subordinates. As the boss of Ryuchi Cave, how could I bear to be embarrassed in front of his subordinates? Gotta get some face back. The culprit is Mizuki, so. Ryuchi Cave is one of the 3 holy places. How can outsiders enter at will? In addition, Uchiha Sasuke is the summoning contractor of our Ryuchi Cave Snake Clan. His safety is guaranteed by us. If Mizuki dares to come and kill him, we will kill Mizuki. Shenji, go ahead and lure Mizuki here. You are no match for him, so I will kill him myself. Tienshin Shenji immediately said, "Ancestor, this is not necessary. After all, Uzumaki Naruto is Mizuki's disciple. What if we kill Mizuki and Uzumaki Naruto seeks revenge from us?" The White Snake Immortal immediately took a deep breath of cold smoke. Hiss. Cough cough cough, it choked on the smoke. So sloppy, he actually forgot about Uzumaki Naruto. My strength is about the same as Gamamaru, so if Uzumaki Naruto comes, I can't help but beat him up. It immediately changed its mind and said, "Well, you were right. Uchiha Sasuke is Mizuki's disciple after all. If the teacher wants to kill his beloved disciple, it must be because the disciple has made a mistake that he shouldn't have made. Mizuki wants to kill Sasuke, then let him kill him. We'd better not interfere in the matter between their master and disciple. Kamiki, don't think blindly. I'm not afraid of Uzumaki Naruto. I just simply think that we should mind our own business." Tienshin Shenji. Am I right? What did I say? Don't think blindly? Aren't you afraid of Uzumaki Naruto? Guess whether I believe it or not. This is all thanks to our ancestors' wise decision. Although she despised her in her heart, she didn't dare to show any disrespect on her face. White Snake Sage continued. Sasuke's current strength should not be weak. He has cultivated Sage Mode and transplanted Rinnegan. Will Mizuki not be able to defeat him? Kamiki, do you think we should help a bunch of Mizuki and help him kill Sasuke? Lest he cannot defeat Sasuke, or even be killed by Sasuke, how could I bear that? Tienshin Shenji was really speechless. Why can't you bear it? You are obviously afraid of Uzumaki Naruto. After all, he is an old antique who has lived for thousands of years. He has never seen anything before. There is no need to be afraid of this, right? Awesome. If Mizuki deals with Sasuke, Ryuchi Cave's reputation will be bad in the future. After that, who would dare to sign a summoning contract with the Ryuchi Cave Snake Clan? Shenji said. After all, it is a conflict between master and apprentice. It is not good for us to intervene. But, in order to prevent them from dying in Ryuchi Cave, we can drive Sasuke out. As soon as Sasuke left Ryuchi Cave, Mizuki followed him. No matter who dies by then, it will have nothing to do with us. Although she despises White Snake Sennin in her heart, Taguchi Kamime is also afraid that Mizuki will die in Ryuchi Cave. Therefore, she made this the safest suggestion. White Snake Sage immediately said, "Okay, this is the best. My Ryuchi Cave is one of the 3 holy places after all, and I should not interfere in other people's affairs." Advertisement, Kamiki. Expel Uchiha Sasuke from Ryuchi Cave immediately. Then inform Mizuki and tell him that Sasuke has left Ryuchi Cave. Tienshin Shenji immediately went to make arrangements. In a cave somewhere in Ryuchi Cave, Karen is helping Sasuke remove the bandage from his left eye. Soon, the bandage was removed and Sasuke slowly opened his left eye. Even in this dim environment, this eye is still clearly visible. Powerful eye power emanates from this Rinnegan. Is this the Rinnegan? Ha ha, ha 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 ha, this powerful feeling is so wonderful. Sharingan's eye power is like a younger brother to this Rinnegan. Sasuke looked crazy, feeling the power contained in his left eye, he was completely fascinated. Nissan, your Mangekyo Sharingan will be eclipsed by my Rinnegan. Just wait, I will find you, kill you, resurrect you, and kill you again. I also want to resurrect all Uchiha's people, Dad, Mom. Everyone will kill you once. Until all your sins are repaid, our family can live happily together again. He growled, his eyes full of madness. Behind her, Shang Phosphorus looked at Sasuke like this, her eyes full of worry. Seeing Sasuke sink deeper and deeper into hatred, Shang Ling was full of intolerance. But she liked Sasuke so much that she met all of Sasuke's requirements unconditionally. Just then, there was applause and laughter in the darkness. Ba bang bang. Haha, congratulations to you Sasuke, for successfully transplanting the Rinnegan. With your strength and reaching the top of the ninja world, even Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama in their heyday cannot be your opponent. Tien Shinji stepped out of the darkness and looked at Sasuke with a smile. Sasuke put away his madness, glanced at Tien Shinji, and asked calmly, "What do you want to see me for?" Sasuke's attitude made Tien Shinji unhappy. With such a character of repaying kindness with hatred, no wonder Mizuki, his teacher, wanted to kill him. Tien Shinji didn't show any emotion, but continued to smile. "I just received information that your brother Uchiha Itachi is rushing to Rock Shinobi Village in the Land of Earth." Upon hearing the news about Uchiha Itachi, Sasuke's eyes immediately lit up and he became interested. Tien Shinji continued, "With him, there is also Hoshigaki Kisame. The two were ordered by Pain, the leader of the Akatsuki organization, to prepare for a raid on Rock Shinobi Village. Don't you always want to seek revenge on Uchiha Itachi? Now is your chance?" Sasuke couldn't wait. He walked towards the outside of the cave very quickly. "Sasuke-kun, where are you going?" Shang Ling hurriedly caught up and asked. Sasuke said calmly, "Of course, go to Rock Shinobi Village and kill Uchiha Itachi. Today, he will be killed by me 100 times. Shang Ling frowned and said, "But your heavenly resentment you has not been completed yet, so the Rinne Tensai technique cannot be used." Sasuke turned his head, looked at Shang Lien with a sneer, and said, "I know, but aren't you here? When I use the Rinne Tensai technique and my life is in danger, you won't just ignore it. When the time comes, just let me bite you and suck the life out of you." Shang Phosphorus was silent. Tien Shinji on the side said in her heart that she was an expert. He is a snake, a cold-blooded animal, but compared to Sasuke, his blood is definitely hotter. Chapter 214. Just Mizuki, killing him is like killing a dog. Sasuke-kun, I have opened the entrance and exit directly to the Kingdom of Earth for you, come with me. Tien Shinji took Sasuke, followed by Shanglin, turning left and right, and finally walked into a cave. Follow this hole and you can directly reach the territory of the Kingdom of Earth. The exit is very close to Rock Shinobi Village. Goodbye then. I wish you success in killing your brother and taking revenge. Sasuke didn't say a word of thanks, and strode away with a cold expression on his face. Tien Shinji looked at Sasuke's retreating back, stuck out her tongue and licked her lips. It's a pity that we finally managed to cultivate someone who can successfully practice immortal arts. With that said, Tien Shinji turned around. Her body floated up and flew quickly in a certain direction. After Mizuki entered Ryuchi Cave, he began to search for Sasuke. Ryuchi Cave is an underground world. As its name suggests, it is full of caves. The caves are crisscrossed and the terrain is extremely complex. It's basically impossible to find Sasuke on your own. So Mizuki separated thousands of shadow clone, and these shadow clones spread out to search for Sasuke's traces. Hey, it's so troublesome to find someone. There are so many snakes in Ryuchi Cave, but I haven't encountered any that can talk. It seems that when I have free time, I have to practice a sensory ninjutsu. There are not many sensory ninjutsu, at least Mizuki didn't find any among the many ninjutsu scrolls in Konoha. In the ninja world, there are not many ninjas who can use sensory ninjutsu. Some are innate, such as Uzumaki Koso's Kagura Hardai. Some are inherited from families, such as the Byakugan, and the Yamanaka family's secret art of escape. There are other kinds of sentience, such as Naruto being able to sense malice after becoming a perfect Jinchuriki. It can be said that if you want to practice sensory ninjutsu, in addition to knowing the training method, you must also have a specific physique. First Hokage and second Hokage both have sensory ninjutsu, and their perception range is very wide. But their sensory ninjutsu was not passed down in Konoha. Probably that kind of sensory ninjutsu requires the physique of the Senju clan to be practiced. If you can cultivate Sage Mode, you will naturally be able to master the ability of perception. Unfortunately, it is a bit difficult to cultivate Sage Mode. In Sage Mode, you can use the natural energy in the air to perform large-scale sensing. Mizuki's echolocation can also be said to be a sensory ninjutsu. Unfortunately, the range of echolocation is not large, and it can only perceive the shape of surrounding objects, but cannot be more specific. So it's not very useful. Perhaps, when my mental power becomes stronger, I can acquire the sensory ninjutsu on my own. Mizuki has been drinking 3 cups of the divine essence tea that she returned from Naruto for more than half a month every day. His mental strength has improved a lot. Just drink 3 cups a day, and if you insist on it for a month, your mental strength will be permanently doubled. If you insist on it for 3 months, your mental strength will be permanently tripled. After his mental power became stronger, Mizuki's perception of everything became stronger. The brain is getting clearer and clearer, and the efficiency of understanding and learning various ninjutsu is improving. It's not particularly obvious now, but as your mental power becomes stronger, this feeling will become more and more obvious. He is looking forward to what will happen when his spiritual power is permanently increased 3 times. This time Naruto opened the 9th gate, severely damaging Gamamaru's soul, and made Mizuki realize one thing. Perhaps, the key to the realm above the 6 paths lies not in physical fitness, not in chakra, not in the research and mastery of various attribute escape techniques, and not in fairy magic. But it lies in the soul. Naruto mentioned that after the 9th gate was opened, when he attacked Gamamaru, he relied on neither ninjutsu nor taijutsu. Chakra, ninjutsu, taijutsu, etc., all seemed to have become dispensable and irrelevant. Naruto couldn't tell exactly what changes the 9th divine sect had brought about. But Mizuki guessed that it may have something to do with mental aspects. This also made Mizuki pay more attention to improving his mental power. Advertisement time passed slowly, but Mizuki still couldn't find Sasuke. None of the shadow clone reported that Sasuke had been found. Mizuki was starting to get a little impatient. If I can't find Sasuke again, I will destroy Ryuchi Cave and force the people in Ryuchi Cave to come out. Sasuke, this white-eyed wolf, I will kill anyone who dares to hide. Just then, Mizuki looked up somewhere in the sky. Although there was nothing there, Mizuki's Rinnegan saw a faint shadow. The shadow is very faint, almost invisible if you don't look closely. What a brilliant invisibility technique. It seems that the top management of Ryuchi Cave can't sit still. Mizuki knew that some of the Ryuchi Cave elders under the White Snake Sage had mastered the powerful invisibility technique. This invisibility technique is said to be undetectable by any sensory ninjutsu. Mizuki's golden Rinnegan can only see a faint shadow, which shows the opponent's strong stealth ability. It's almost comparable to Uchiha Madara's Watanabe prison. Since you are here, please show up. I have no ill intentions towards Ryuchi Cave. I'm here just for Uchiha Sasuke. Leave Uchiha Sasuke to me and I'll leave immediately. Mizuki explained his intention. Haha, Mr. Mizuki, first generation Hokage of Tori no Kuni Phoenix Village, welcome to Ryuchi Cave. I am White Snake Sage, Lord Tienshin, one of the elders of Ryuchi Cave. With laughter, Tienshin Shenji appeared. This is a beautiful girl, as beautiful as a flower, as playful and cute as the little sister next door. She has long green hair, tied into 2 balls on the back of her head, and wears a golden crown with a golden ball on her forehead. He has pale skin, wears a white gown, and has a tomo-shaped green ornament on his chest. She floats in the air and is very polite to Mizuki. Mizuki smiled and said, "Nice to meet you. I wonder if Elder Tienshin takes the initiative to meet me and gives me some advice?" Tienshin Shenji smiled and said, "Don't dare, in front of Master Mizuki, who dares to give advice." After flattering her calmly, Tienshin Shenji continued. Mizuki-sama has been aware of your purpose since you entered Ryuchi Cave. Your murderous intention towards Uchiha Sasuke, White Snake Sennin clearly senses it. But I can only regret to tell you that Uchiha Sasuke is not in Ryuchi Cave now. He has left Ryuchi Cave and gone to Rock Shinobi Village in the Land of Earth to seek revenge on Uchiha Itachi. Mizuki was confused. I have never interacted with Ryuchi Cave, so why would Tien Shinji be so polite to me? Of course, he wouldn't ask more about this kind of thing. However, he expressed doubts about Tienshin Shenji's words. Who knows if he was lying to him, but what if Sasuke was still in Ryuchi Cave and couldn't get in after he left? After all, when he came in just now, the entrance to Ryuchi Cave was closed, and he almost couldn't get in. This shows that Ryuchi Cave does not welcome him. How do you prove that Sasuke is really no longer in Ryuchi Cave? Mizuki raised his doubts. What if after I leave, you close the entrance to Ryuchi Cave and protect Sasuke, then I won't be fooled. Tienshin Shenji. I don't even believe the truth. It's really hard to serve. Don't worry, Mizuki-sama, I am one of the senior elders of Ryuchi Cave. My words represent the face of Ryuchi Cave. Ryuchi Cave, as one of the 3 summoning holy lands, will not joke about this kind of thing. In addition, Sasuke is only a summoning contractor of Ryuchi Cave, and we have no reason to guarantee his safety. If you really don't believe it, then there's nothing I can do about it. Ryuchi Cave is too big and I can't prove that Sasuke isn't here. Advertisement. Mizuki frowned. The other party's words were sincere, as if they were true. But whether it is true or false, I have no way of telling. I can't read minds. After thinking for a moment, he said, I have a way to prove whether Sasuke came out of Ryuchi Cave or not. Open an exit for me and I'll send a shadow clone out. Tienshin Shenji nodded. Then she took one of Mizuki's shadow clone to an exit. After the shadow clone went out, she immediately used Flying Thunder God to return to Phoenix Village and find Kushina in the barrier room. Kushina, explore Sasuke's location, direction of Earth Country. The sensory barrier spreads out, and under Kushina's directional control, it spreads towards the Kingdom of Earth. Soon, there were results. Found it, about 30 miles southeast of Rock Shinobi Village. Shadow Clone smiled and said, it's better now that I found it. The next moment, he disappeared with a bang, and took the initiative to relieve himself. Inside Ryuchi Cave, Mizuki suddenly had some memories in his mind. As expected, it's not in Ryuchi Cave. In that case, excuse me. Mizuki greeted Tien Shinji and immediately left Ryuchi Cave through the exit. Call. Watching Mizuki leave, Tien Shinji breathed a sigh of relief, finally sending this plague god away. She immediately closed the entrance and exit and went to the White Snake Immortal to announce the good news. After Mizuki left Ryuchi Cave, he immediately used Flying Thunder God, appeared near Rock Shinobi Village, and then flew toward the southeast. At the same time, 30 miles southeast of Rock Shinobi Village, a ninja eagle was flying rapidly south. There were two people sitting on Ninja's back, none other than Sasuke and Karen. Shang Phosphorus, where are the 7 dozen? Sasuke asked again. Kaoru replied, we are about 70 miles ahead and approaching Rock Shinobi Village rapidly. Sasuke patted the ninja hawk sitting next to him and urged, Garda, go faster. His eyes were filled with anticipation. Dear brother, I can't wait to kill you. At this moment, Shang Ling's body shook, and his expression suddenly changed. Sasuke noticed something strange about Shang Phosphorus and asked, what's wrong? Shang Ling said anxiously. Sasuke, let's run away quickly, Shui. Mizuki is here and is approaching us quickly. His chakra is violent and full of anger, he must be here to kill you. Kill me? A hint of sneer appeared on Sasuke's lips. What did he use to kill me? I can do what he knows, Rasengan, Apparition, Sharingan, Rinnegan. He can't do it, and I can, too, the more advanced Izanagi, Ryuchi Cave Sage Mode. Haha, kill me. Does he have that ability? Shang Phosphorus' complexion was slightly pale. She looked at Sasuke's arrogant profile and felt very uncomfortable. But, he is your master after all. He brought you out of Konoha and taught you various ninjutsu. Sasuke sneered and waved his hand to interrupt. What about master? I was born alone and don't need any emotion. I will kill anyone who dares to stop me. You don't need to say it anymore, my current strength is invincible in the ninja world, even Mizuki, killing him is like killing a dog. Garda, turn around, I'll kill Mizuki first, so that he won't interfere when we kill 1 against 7. I just took his right eye and paired it with my left eye. Chapter 215, 10,000 times return, overweight field. Along with Sasuke, her Kagura hard eye has a very wide range of perception. Kagura's inner eye technique is enviable even to Mizuki. This is one of the most powerful sensing ninjutsus ever seen in Hokage, with a sensing range of up to dozens of kilometers. It is a very wide-range sensory ninjutsu. Through Kagura's hard eye, the chakra emotions of any ninja can be sensed. You can sense Naruto's sun-filled chakra and Nine-Tails' evil-filled chakra. Shang Phosphorus must have sensed my presence near them. Mizuki does not have sensory ninjutsu. If Sasuke wants to run away, Mizuki cannot find him by himself. After all, the distance between the two sides was quite far. Although Rinnegan's eyesight was strong, he couldn't see clearly from such a long distance. But fortunately, I was prepared. Phoenix Village, inside the barrier. Kushina keeps the perception barrier open and senses Sasuke's location at all times. Standing beside him were several of Mizuki's shadow clones. These shadow clones were used to transmit Sasuke's location information. At this time Kushina said, Sasuke's direction has changed. A shadow clone said, as expected, Shang Phosphorus discovered my true form. Now Sasuke has changed direction and must be trying to escape. Kushina shook her head. No, he didn't want to escape, he went towards your body. Shadow clones. A shadow clone wondered. What does he want to do? He knew that the main body was heading towards him, but he didn't run away. Instead, he approached the main body. He doesn't think that no one knows about him killing Kakashi, right? Another shadow clone. I think he should have swelled again. No, not should, absolutely. He has definitely swelled. He even swelled to the point where he thought he could defeat the main body. The other shadow clone nodded. I also think he's swollen, he is indeed a white-eyed wolf. But it's better not to run, it saves trouble. Guess how long it will take for the main body to kill him. He has mastered the upgraded version of Izanagi. I'm afraid it won't be easy to kill. After all, it can be used for 100 minutes cumulatively. No, I don't think it's that troublesome. It's not like you don't know the abilities of the main body. Sasuke's Izanagi will never be used. What are you talking about? When did the main body say to kill him today? Keep him, he will be useful tomorrow. Stop arguing, go and notify the main body first. Any shadow clone is automatically released and the message obtained here is passed to Mizuki's body. Mizuki used Flying Thunder God and Apparition to move quickly toward the southeast. Suddenly, there was some more news in his mind. You're actually coming towards me. Do you want to snatch my Rinnegan too? It seems that you made the right choice to kill him. You think you can just transplant a Rinnegan and you can fight with me, you are naive. Now that Sasuke is coming this way, Mizuki is not in a hurry. Soon, he saw a small black dot appear on the horizon. When he got closer, he could see it clearly. On Ninja's back were Sasuke and Koso. Mizuki could clearly see that Sasuke's face was full of indifference and his eyes flashed with murderous intent. Hey, he is indeed a white-eyed wolf. I taught him various ninjutsu and gave him the strength to take revenge, but now he wants to kill me. If it wasn't for his bad character, I would really be reluctant to do anything to him. Forget it, I gained a lot from him, so in the end I'm not at a loss. The two sides approached quickly without any evasion. In a blink of an eye, the distance shortened to 100 meters, and both sides stopped. No one spoke, only the wind blowing in my ears. The atmosphere is very quiet. Mizuki was the first to speak. I didn't expect that we would meet at war so soon. Advertisement, I thought I had to wait a few more years. Sasuke looked indifferent and said, I am an avenger, everything I do is for revenge. I can't learn anything from you anymore, you are no longer of use to me. I knew you would come for me from the moment I killed Kakashi and took his Rinnegan. But I don't care. The strength I am now is beyond your imagination. Sasuke stared at Mizuki, his voice suddenly rose 3 points higher, and said, you shouldn't have come. Mizuki shook his head. He lamented in his heart that when he first accepted Sasuke as his disciple, he was really rushing to return to the system. But as time went by, he truly cultivated Sasuke as his disciple, without any malicious intention or intention to take advantage of him. Rasengan taught it, he also taught apparition, and Izanagi also taught it, which can be regarded as a heartbreaking experience. But this is the result. The tradition of the Hokage is indeed the disciple Koro-sensei. Sighing, Mizuki looked at Sasuke with eyes full of regret. Your character is still the same. If you have a little bit of strength, you will immediately swell and think you are invincible. I don't know how many times I have suffered losses, but I still haven't learned the lesson. Sasuke yelled angrily. You came to kill me today, and I just want to kill you too. The master-disciple relationship between us is gone. So, I don't need you to lecture me. Aren't you going to kill me to avenge Kakashi? Then stop talking nonsense and do it. After I kill you, I'm going to kill Uchiha Itachi, so don't waste your time. Mizuki was really speechless. Damn it, Brother Flathead is not as big as you. Mizuki could hardly suppress the anger in his heart, but he still suppressed it and did not take action immediately. I'm not here to kill Sasuke today. Keep Sasuke, it's still useful. Tomorrow is his death day. Besides, since he is going to die tomorrow, it would be better to make good use of it before he dies. Don't be anxious. After all, it's a master-disciple relationship. There's no need to be in such a hurry if you want to take action. Sasuke frowned and asked, what else do you want to say? Mizuki took out 2 scrolls, threw them towards Sasuke, and said, go on. Fragrant phosphorus? Sasuke asked, tilting his head. Xiangling said, there is no chakra fluctuation, it is not a trap, it is safe. So, Sasuke reached for the scroll and opened it to read. A scroll is Rock Shinobi Village's Earth-style secret, super-weighted rock technique. The other is the Mount Myoboku Senjutsu training method that Mizuki summarized based on what Naruto said. Sasuke was confused. How long had it been before he gave him a training scroll? Be sick, he asked. What do you mean? You knew you were no match for me, so you sent me the scroll and begged me to spare your life? Mizuki didn't answer. He just wanted to get one last wave of system returns before Sasuke died. After all, after Orochimaru takes over Sasuke's body, it is unknown whether he can still get system returns from him. It's best if you can, but if you can't, the loss will be huge. So, take advantage of the last bit of time to get as much as you can. Hey, what do you mean? Sasuke continued to ask. Mizuki said. After all, master and apprentice are separated. Although we have broken up, I am still your master. I will give you something at the end. It can be regarded as the last bit of kindness as a master. Okay. Now that the master-disciple relationship between you and me is completely over, I will not hold back in the next battle. Sasuke sneered. Who wants you to hold back? Just use your full strength. Advertisement: the war is about to break out. At the same time, the system's voice sounded in Mizuki's mind. Open black lens bracket ding. Close black lens bracket open black lens bracket host grants disciple Uchiha Sasuke Earth style. Super heavy rock technique training scroll, triggering 10,000 times return. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to host, for obtaining the SSS-level super heavy domain and successfully cultivating directly with the help of the system. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki's eyes lit up and he was overjoyed. It actually came 10,000 times, and he succeeded in cultivating directly. So cool. The system then introduced, super heavy field, consumes chakra, and creates a field with double gravity within a certain range. Close black lens bracket. The more chakra consumed, the higher the gravity multiplier, the larger the area, and the longer the duration. Close black lens bracket. Each additional 10 Kakashi chakra consumed can increase gravity by 1 times, expand the area with a radius of 10 meters, and increase the duration by 10 seconds. Close black lens bracket. Note: the caster's own gravity is not affected in any way. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki smacked his lips. This overweight field is so strong. Even if there is a 10 times gravity, it is not something that ordinary people can bear. No matter how strong your physical fitness is, if the gravity of the whole body suddenly increases by 10 times, even if the bones and muscles can bear it, the internal organs cannot bear it. Even if you can bear it, your body's flexibility will be greatly affected, and your combat effectiveness will plummet. It was originally able to jump 10 meters, but under 10 times the gravity, it could not jump 1 meter. Refer to Otsutsuki Kaguya's gravity space to see how powerful the super heavy field is. It can be said that in this overweight field, Mizuki is invincible. My current total amount of chakra, excluding magical chakra, is 8,475 cards. If the super heavy domain is used at full strength, it can create more than 800 times the gravity, which can directly crush people to death without taking action. This is the first return, and there is one more. Open black lens bracket ding, close black lens bracket. Host grants disciple Uchiha Sasuke Mount Myoboku Senjutsu cultivation method, remaining, triggering a 100 million times return. Close black lens bracket. Mizuki was shocked. F*K, it's 10,000 times more. What a surprise to the system today, it actually gave back 2,000 times in a row, it's so awesome. Congratulations to host, you got. At this time, Sasuke had already come to kill him, and Mizuki had no time to pay attention to the system's broadcast. Then, let's deal with this white-eyed wolf first, and then let's see what the system returns. Mizuki is not in a hurry at all. He has everything in hand anyway, and it will be the same whether he sees it in the morning or in the evening. At this time, Sasuke had broken away from the ninja eagle's back and was heading towards Mizuki. As soon as he comes up, he uses his ultimate move and goes directly into Sage mode. Two horns sprouted from the top of his head, and his pupils changed into snake-like vertical pupils, with purple eye shadow around his eyes. Sasuke's current Sage mode is somewhat different from the one he showed when he fought against Konoha Shinobi. It seems to be stronger. Mizuki, suffer death. When you die, the Rinnegan in your right eye socket will also be mine. Sage art. White Geki technique. Mizuki thought to himself. Have you even learned this trick? It seems that you are indeed quite capable. But I'm too lazy to waste time. Let you try the overweight field I just acquired. The next moment, a wave of microseconds radiated from Mizuki. Sasuke, who was flying in the air and spitting red dragons, suddenly felt that his body became extremely heavy. With a cry of surprise, he fell to the ground. A weird technique, but you can't defeat me, Izanagi.